not two of his brothers, it's just two of us. I had a Philly cheesesteak before this, so that I would be fueled adequately, and I feel like the Osmosis Jones guys in my body are having a hard time turning it into something usable for me. Like, I feel like I feel
like out of everything that you could be like, oh, I'm gonna eat this so that I feel well and prepared for life, is a Philly cheesesteak.
It had like ketchup and a pickle on it. I did that. That's vegetables anyway. But the point is, I feel like, you know how like when you're pregnant, the baby like steals your life force from you, and you become progressively more bad. I don't know.
Neither of us have ever been bad.
We've never been pregnant, but like the baby's like, you eat like a Philly cheesesteak, and the baby's getting some percentage of that.
Yeah.
You know. I feel like I am the life support system for this Philly cheesesteak. Like, after having eaten it, it is like sucking my I'm growing a more powerful Philly cheesesteak inside of me. That is to say, I think it has had the opposite effect.
I had a salad, and then
health.
I had a nap for 30 minutes. But then I woke up, and I woke up to the alarm that always goes off when I wake up for work, and had eternal rage. I woke up to rage because I was like, are you kidding me? And then I was like, oh, it's podcast time. It's not work time.
Not rage time. It's like in YouTube videos when they have like a scene where somebody wakes up and they have an iPhone.
Yeah.
And then they play that.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, hey. You
Shut
can't do that.
Yeah.
Like, can I have like a trigger warning iPhone alarm noise?
Why don't movies just make up, like, you know how like movies have fake money, so they're not using real money in the thing?
No.
Oh, well, they
What?
do.
What do you mean fake money?
Like, in movies, they don't use real dollar bills and all that.
Yeah, dude, you remember in that Vegas heist movie when they were trying to steal like smackaroonies? What are you talking about?
And
there's 5 million. Listen, buddy, there's 5 million smackaroonies in that vase. As I slam the table with my elbow, we gotta get them out. There's 2 bajillion oingo boingos in that freaking safe, man.
Like, this is harassment.
It's
real.
Dollars.
It's real. It's not that it's not that you can't say the word dollars, you idiot.
What is the other thing that could mean?
The money isn't real. The money, it's a piece of paper that's printed to look like.
Freaking yeah, dude! All the budget of this Vegas heist movie went into the money scene where there's like gold bars.
I don't even remember the point of me saying this.
You said I said there's fake alarm clock sounds.
Yes, my point.
Okay, there's fake money.
My
like,
point.
Duh.
No.
The guy.
Shut up.
Channing Tatum isn't a stripper.
My fucking point.
He's an actor.
My
He's
fucking
not like,
point.
I'm Channing Tatum. I gotta go to Bank of America and
Do you see what I have to deal with? Do you see what I have to deal with?
I have to get $5 million out because we have to use real money in this movie.
Look. My point was, you know how that's real? That they don't use real money? What if they made a fake alarm that they use in movies so that people don't hear their phone alarm in the movies and they have a bad time?
That would be good.
Yeah!
But you said it in
shut the fuck up!
Hey, everybody. You know that I am right. What are you talking? Of course they don't use real money in a movie.
I wasn't
they
saying
get like
this
a
like
PA.
I wasn't saying this like this wasn't a well-known fact. I was saying this like, hey, you know how this thing is a real thing that we all know about?
You know how the actors are acting? What if they got alarms to act?
This actually is the last episode of Nat.
Oh, there's a nuclear winter and everyone dies at the end. They get like a PA and they're like, you got like $50 in your checking account. Can you, like, get me a coffee and the director a coffee, and also can you go withdraw that? We need it for a scene. We're not going to, we can't be, you're the one, but thank you.
One time.
In advance.
At work, I was handed a $100 bill, and the guy was I was like, you are the most suspicious person in the world because he was just like not looking me in the eyes and like handed it to me and then rolled up his window, and I was like, this isn't a drive-through, by the way. And I was like, all right. And I looked at it, and look, I would like to think that I'm smart. I took the marker that tests dollar bills, whatever, and I tested it, and it immediately turned a different color, and I was like, this isn't real. And then I went to my manager, and I was like, this isn't real, because the marker that was my reasoning, was because the marker tested not real. And then he drove away because I think he realized that I realized. And my manager like hung it up in the back of the house, and I looked at it, and on it it said in big bold letters, "For movie productions only." And I was like, oh, maybe that should have been my
This is why
clue.
Shane knows that they use fake money. It's the only reason.
Personal experience.
That's very good. Yeah, at my job, I had a guy come in and give me what it was a $10 bill, but it didn't look like the rest of the other $10 bills. And he handed it to me. He got like a couple coffees, and he was like, here is the money you requested. And I looked at it, and I looked at the other tens, and I looked at him, and I was like, is this an old one? Because I was like, look, not that I'm accusing you of like trying to steal, but are you trying to steal? Like, what's he gonna be like? Oh no, it's a forgery. I'm a criminal. Like, of course he's gonna be like, yeah, it's one of the old ones. Anyway, I took it because I was embarrassed. I was like, I don't want to be like, hey, are you stealing? But also, like, why does this 5 look different? Or 10? Why does this money amount look different? But I took it, so that's something else's problem.
$10 is the smallest amount of money that you could steal. Like, I feel like if you were like, because like that guy, look, because like that guy was like, here's a $100 bill. I'm gonna order something that's $2 and then get $98 back. Yeah, real dollars, make some amount of money. This guy's like, I'm going to order a $5 cup of coffee, hand you a $10 bill, and then get $5 of real money. Okay,
think about this the other way.
Yeah.
What if it wasn't that he was stealing money and it was that he was stealing coffee?
Well, then that's even cheaper, baby.
He got 2, like, fancy schmancy frappa jappa juices, dude. It wasn't like, no, black coffee. Kaboom! I move around a lot when I talk and sleep and live. They were like fancy schmancy guys that I'd spent hours making, and then, you know, he handed me like the freaking Bill Clinton was on it, but I didn't think it. That's why I looked over. No, it's like now they're like sort of off yellow, pinkish orange, and the other one was green, and the 10 was real long. Anyway, I took it, so hopefully it's real.
Oh, who cares?
Yeah, I always am just like, just take it out of my paycheck if it's not, and then I don't mean that. Please don't. Please actually don't. That was a mistake, but, you know, we all make mistakes.
Yeah.
Everybody makes mistakes. You ready to start?
What was that?
I'm turning on.
In the last episode, I had a stroke. Freaking... So, as y'all can...
Look, it's hard to come up with stuff.
Yeah. As y'all probably know, or could have
could have telled.
Yep.
Could tell.
I'm actively having a stroke right now. I have a new character again. And I had to come up with a voice on the spot. For some reason, my brain was like, we have no concept of language or what voices sound like.
So we're going to do
yeah. So we're going to do every single voice that you have ever heard all in one span of like 5 minutes. So just ignore that, you know. Her voice is going to sound so different now.
I think it's kind of fun if you listen to it to watch with your ears Shay go through many different
5 stages of grief.
You're like every other word is a different voice, like pitch, accent, and you can hear you being like, whatever it is, I have to commit to it for the rest of the podcast, and I want it to be right, and none of this is right. It was very good. While I was listening to you do it, I was trying not to think it was funny because I was gonna like break character. Else, I didn't want you to, like, feel pressured or something like that, but just hearing you be like, well, I don't know how to... It's like, she thinking, we out here thinking.
We out here thinking.
It ain't karaoke night, but grab a mic, because I'm thinking.
What?
You remember when Nicki Minaj said that?
Nope. Anyways.
Yeah,
so I've come up with her real voice.
One would hope so. I hope it's that.
It's she's actually a mimic, and she's just learned words based off of hearing other people talk. Man, if somebody could do that, like talk, but every single word is a different accent and play a mimic like that would be impeccable.
That would be impeccable. I feel like you would have to pick an order that you would go in accents. Like, I'm going to do French, Russian,
Yeah.
And then just preload that in your brain.
But then even being able to do that is crazy.
Me trying to decide if I can do that, which I can't.
Hey guys, we have a new character. It's a mimic, and I'm going to have a stroke live.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I would just, like, stare at a wall if I had to do that. Be like,
thinking about it. You wouldn't even be thinking about what you had to say, just how you had to say it.
Yeah.
Every conversation would go over your head and be like, wait, I'm sorry, say that again.
Yeah, say it again. I've been trying to think of how to say disciplinary in a Russian accent.
Disciplinary.
Disciplinary.
There you go.
But then the next one is a different thing. While we're doing admin, unless you had any more else to say on the topic. No. Okay, cool. So, hi, it's me. I'm the DM. Currently, Monica. And this is the first time I ever DM'd, just want to reiterate that. And I've been doing a lot of research throughout this whole thing and deciding stuff based on stuff and not really sharing my things that I decided that I wanted to be true. So we're just going to, like, get them all out right now. Great. This may be edited into the beginning of a previous episode, so I'm not going to, just in case.
You think.
Elves... For thing one, elves in D&D 5e canon, elves can't be put to sleep using magic.
Yeah.
They can only be put to sleep using poison.
Yeah.
But in this universe, magic is potions.
Mm-hmm.
And poison is poison. And so what would be the thing that elves can't be put to sleep using? And I decided that I would go with the D&D 5e distinction of, so a poison is its own category, and it's, they think anything that is called poison is poison.
Okay.
So there's that. So if it is a poison, it's a poison. Period. End of. A potion can become a poison if, like, in the same way, right, that it could in the real world. Like, if I took 28...
5-hour energies.
5-hour energies. I would have to maybe go to the hospital. You know what I mean? Like that type of way. Yeah. So there's that. A highly concentrated potion could become a poison.
Okay.
A potion is a potion in D&D 5e, and those work on elves. I couldn't find a sleeping potion, but that would be a thing that could exist in this universe because I get to make it up.
The rules.
But yeah, so like a greater healing potion, potions that are items are established as items rather than as potion manifestations of spells. So a single-use sleeping potion would work on an elf.
Okay.
A spell is a, like, rechargeable or remakeable potion. And a potion that is predicated on the use of a spell would not work on an elf.
Okay.
So if there's a spell that makes you fall asleep or whatever, you couldn't use that on an elf. If that sounds complicated to you, I didn't super think about the implications of using potions versus magic at the beginning of this campaign. First time DMing, whatever. So we're hashing it out that way now. So it's like some ways of making them sleep would work and some wouldn't, in the same way that they would in the D&D 5e universe. So we just have to make a slightly separate distinction.
Okay.
The other thing is, elves don't have to sleep, they trance. And trancing is the whole, you finish a long rest in 4 hours meditation thing.
Yeah.
In this universe, and also the D&D 5 universe, elves don't have to trance if they don't want to. Elves can sleep. They just choose generally to trance. Why? Because it takes half as much time. in also the D&D 5 universe, when you are trancing, that you are semi-conscious, which is something that is really not expounded upon. The implications are extremely hotly debated in all of the forums I found.
I've heard that it's like you can do like light activities, but like you can't.
And I've seen people be like, well, does that mean that they would have like
they could like have a conversation?
Yeah, like
or what,
would they have just a flat roll as a perception check? Would they be disadvantaged perception check? That type of thing. So the way that I'm going to experience this is just to say they're semi-conscious, and you will find out the implications of that in the future. Last note-ish. Elves must trance or sleep once in a 24-hour period, or it will incur a level of exhaustion. So they have to do one or the other, because they both accomplish basically the same goal. Cool. Admin over.
Just some rules.
All right, so in the last episode, what happened? Basically, with the boys, because theirs, I think, is a little bit less
complicated.
Yeah.
It's complicated.
So they were hanging out at the liquor store.
Mm-hmm.
We got Lucien all fixed up with some makeup that makes him look like he has
leprosy.
some sort of horrible skin condition. Fingers looks great.
Yeah.
We're all
bang up job.
Thalen's wearing a fabulous pocket square. Ethiod is big chillin' as well.
Well, Lucien found out that he's a tiefling.
That's true.
And also found out that Fingers is a tiefling.
Yeah, and Lucien is kind of like, well, now that's a thing that I know. And Thalen knew the whole time.
And for some reason.
For some reason, I wonder why. I wonder why he didn't say anything about it, too. Anyway, so that was funny. I was trying to think of a way to get you to say that you were a tiefling to, like, get Thalen to be able to express that he knew the whole time. But I didn't have to.
I screwed myself over.
You screwed yourself over, but it worked out. There was some sort of light racism towards Thalen that Lucien did. And then we started taking a walk to the liquor store, or from the liquor store to the ball, hashing out some basic framework of what we're going to do when we get to the ball. When suddenly Lucien took a bit of a tumble on his ouchie foot after he rolled a nat 1 perception on some soldiers who were looking for people's identifying documents, just generally, you know, talking about, you know, weirdly in the area, asking people about some stuff.
Yeah.
You showed him that he was being a widow baby and got him to consume a potion of greater healing, which I will have to say healed less than I thought it did. So he's not, remember it was the first time DMing, don't know anything. I was just like, oh, potion of greater healing, that'll be meaningful. It's kind of meaningful.
He's a little bit less away from death.
Yeah, he's slightly farther away from death. I'm not going to tell you his exact hit point total, but it is not impressive.
I mean, neither is Ethiod's.
Well, yeah, but Ethiod isn't level 9.
Yeah, that's true.
So there's that. He consumed it, though, is the point. And then we got to the sort of entryway of the ball, and we are going to maybe start making our way in the soon times. Tavumile found out some setting information.
Freaking poor Tavumile.
Yeah, you want to talk about
Holy
it?
Crap, sure. Tavumile woke up in a strange environment and was all alone in a room. Really had no way out of it. Really high up in some kind of building. And then a man named Frenthius? Okay. Showed up to talk to her. And Tavumile thinks he's the kindest guy in the world, because little does she freaking know. Anyways, he came to talk to her and informed her of what happened on the farm, but told her, 1, that her mom is dead, and 2, that so is Lucien, and that he may have been or that he is the person who freaking set fire to the whole thing. And Tavumile fully was like, nope, I'm not going to process any of this. Yeah. I'm going to pretend like I am fine and everything's fine and it's great and cool. Can I walk around, please? And he...
Unrelated. Could I maybe get out of here?
Yeah.
Would that be cool?
And Frenthius made a promise to her that he was going to find Barbiel and Arliss, that he does not know is Barbiel and Arliss, but he's going to find the knight so that she can be escorted to walk around a little bit, because she fully was like, I can't be in this room alone, please. I'm going to die, I think.
And then after that, or rather, it would have been after that, Frenthius goes downstairs and finds Arliss and Barbiel, who were still fully in armor because they can't take it off, sitting in front of mountains of food that they cannot eat or drink. And they have two stomachs, which are in tandem growling, and says to them, "Oh, you are a knight that is fully still in all of your armor. That's of note. Anyway, can you come with me?" I think my exact phrasing was, "I'm gonna go meet a monster."
Yeah.
So the last thing that happened,
which is wild.
you know.
Wild to hear that, and you're like, what?
Don't worry about it. So he takes you as Barbiel couldn't really see what was going on, but you go into a room, and the last thing that you heard him say was what?
Like, hello there, Miss Fenra, or like, nice to meet you, Miss Fenra, something along those lines. But essentially, this is for the viewers, because Barbiel wouldn't freaking know this because she couldn't see whether or not it was Tavumile or not, is my mommy.
Who knows? Maybe not.
So
We shall find out.
Frenthius isn't as cool of a guy as maybe he was making himself out to be to Tavumile.
Well, we'll see what's going on with all that in this episode of Dragon Ball Z. That's the lick. Anyway.
And then we meet Yezi.
Oh, yes. Yezi got yelled at.
Yeah.
Yezi got dressed down for not doing
that's
very
the name
good
of
job.
the character yelled.
The assassin character. Yes, her name is Yezi. She got dressed down for not killing
Lucien.
our boy. Yeah.
And she was very like, so what, man?
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
Listen, whatever,
And
but,
then Frenthius was like, I will kill you if you don't do this. And she's like, all right.
Yeah. I mean, what he said was he would stab her.
Well.
Anyway, I have to drink this.
Okay.
We're going to start back with our friend Tavumile.
Well.
The last thing that happened, too, because you've been through a lot, is that Tavumile leveled up.
Yeah,
Woo-woo.
I did.
So you got your health back. You have all your spell slots back.
I got some more health.
Some more health, some new spells.
Yeah.
A new spell?
One new spell. And I get sorcery points, which is sick. I know that you don't know what that means.
I don't. I don't know anything about anything.
It means that I can create a spell slot out of nothing. If I spend sorcery points and I'm all out of spell slots, I can
look at that.
make a spell slot.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Or I can make a spell like a higher level if I wanted to. But I only have 2 sorcery points right now because I'm level 2.
Well.
So I can't do a whole heck of a lot. I can make another spell slot essentially, but I can't really do anything else. Another level 1 spell slot to be specific. And I have 16 points of health now.
Woo! Look at that. Let's go kill a manticore. Okay, so Tavumile, as we left her, she was alone in her room, having heard this bombshell of news.
And my rat is gone.
Your rat's gone too. The dress is gone. You just have the little kind of underdress situation on. And you were left in the room. I think that you were lying on your bed with your legs hanging off last we were there. And to your knowledge, Frenthius has gone to go get Arliss and Barbiel because that's what he said he was going to do.
Yep.
Which, even as if we break the fourth wall and we talk as you and me, he still might
be
doing. Yeah. So not even this isn't like a dramatic eye or anything.
Yeah.
She's just chilling in her room, presumably waiting for that to happen. So Tavumile is alone in her room, hanging off into the bed. Doors locked. The window that is tiny is barred, and you can't see anything really out of it other than a tiny little fire out of the corner of your eye where the torch is. There's a torch there.
Yeah.
What does Tavumile? Is she doing anything while she waits? Just kind of lying there.
I do want to gauge a freaking like how far up am I from like looking out the window? How far up am I?
I'll let you roll a perception check for that, or we'll do investigation because you're investigating.
11.
You cannot see the ground.
Oh, okay.
So I hope that helps. It's like it looks to you too to be a combination of I'm high up and also there's some sort of environmental factor disrupting my ability to see the ground. Like there's smoke from the fire that is just making it dark and like hard to see.
Okay. I think that let me read this one thing because I think it lasts for 10 hours, but I want to make sure.
I'm gonna think it's so funny when you destroy all of my ideas. No, I don't mean it in a bad way. I have such a thought process of like the way this is gonna go. If it doesn't go that way, I'm gonna think that that's really funny. Anyway.
I'll save it.
Okay. Got it.
You don't have to tell me. Okay. I think that she kind of like this whole time has just been staring up at the ceiling and then eventually crawled more onto the bed and just like face in pillow. Like I want no stimuli at all.
Okay.
Like she has like the pillow up against her ears. Like,
oh, really? Okay.
Maybe. I said it and I feel like it would be dishonest.
Well, that's what you're doing. I want you to roll a disadvantaged perception check.
Okay. 9.
Okay. Well, while you have this pillow smashed up against your ears, you hear talking, just some schmuffledy-schmufflediness.
Okay.
And you just start hearing like like the sound of someone talking, but you have a pillow over your ears.
Okay.
I will let you unpillow.
Yeah, I was going to say, I sit up because I am expecting Frenthius and the Knights to be back. I do think that she gets a thought process where she's like, wait, is the Knight talking to Frenthius too? Okay. And like sits up to kind of listen.
So as you sit up, you hear, and this is muffled it's muffled quite a bit, even though you are sans pillow. Because the bed is at the far end of the room, and this is a stone tower, and stone makes sound go away.
Yeah.
So you're gonna miss some more stuff if you try and hear from there, or you can walk up to the door.
I'll walk up to the door.
Okay, cool. So as you walk up to the door, you're missing a few things as the voices get louder and louder. And you start to hear, and I'm not going to muffle it because then the audience won't hear. Yeah. So just pretend that this is muffled behind a wall. Seems that he just got tired of taking care of the girl's mother. I mean, I had to care for my own mother when she was ill, and doing that for so long takes a toll on you. Yes, I suppose, but, he was a doctor. Shouldn't he be used to that sort of thing? I mean, I don't know, perhaps she was a particularly difficult patient.
She hears that. The difficult patient part, and she is like, she gets so angry. Like, I don't think that Tavumile has ever felt anger really before. Yeah, and she has now. Yeah, right currently.
At that moment. Yeah.
And she's going to kick the door as hard as she possibly can, and just kind of like yell out, like, "I already told you, he didn't do it."
Okay, cool. So as you just poof around with like thunk on the door, I already told you to. You hear them kind of go quiet, and you hear the sound of like kind of fabric rustling, and then people going, "Oh, I didn't think she would be able to hear us." Okay, well, this is gonna be awkward. And you hear them still. They like stop walking, and then that interaction, and then they kind of just start walking back up the stairs. And you hear as they get even closer, the like clinking of what sounds like, ceramic, or, dishware of some description. Yeah. And they get to your office. They get to your room. The door is locked. You're standing right in front of the door. Yeah. Yes. Okay, cool. So as they unlock the door, you hear just kind of like a Hello. Tavumile, have I said it correctly? Are you in there?
I don't know where else I would be. I can't leave.
Okay, we're going to come in, okay? We've brought you dinner.
All right.
Okay, and so they like clunk, and they're like, sure hope. Anyway, she didn't make the connection that it was us. Ha ha! And they come in. One of them unlocks the door, kind of holds the door open, and the other one walks in around the first one. It's two male Uwethwei soldiers.
Okay.
In sort of like foot soldier, like leathery armor. And they look like when like roughed up, but they had to clean themselves up for some sort of reason.
Yeah.
Like they look like, my boots are scuffed because I was doing something, but I'm gonna look nice for the boss, whatever.
Yeah.
And one of them is carrying a tray with some whatever stew type, soldier food on it with a bowl, some water, all that good stuff. And the other one opens the door, lets the other one in, and then has his hand still on the door handle and kind of shuts it behind him and keeps his hand on the door, just like holding it there shut, even though it's not locked.
Okay.
While you kind of are there. And the first one is there's like a little table with like a chair that doesn't have all of its legs.
Yeah.
One leg is too short. And one of them is going to kind of like, they're both kind of looking at you because you're remarkably close to the door.
Yeah.
Having just kicked it.
And I'm like looking at them both in the face, just like following each one, like head turning to follow where they are, like walking.
The one with the door is just looking at you, sort of smiling like, I mean, she's an adult, but this is strange. You know what I mean? Like, like she's an adult, but she has no agency type of like, I am in charge of you. You are a ward of ours type of like smile, but also I'm a soldier, so this is atypical work for me, like to be doing this. And so he's just kind of like, like when you you're just like, you meet your best guy friend's girlfriend, and she's just like, hey, and you're like, hey, it's like that. Anyway, so he's like holding the door shut, and the other one is like face pointed in your direction, but is walking to put the tray on the table, and just they're sort of like, okay, well, here you go.
You know that it's not nice to talk about people behind their backs.
Yes.
You can tell me what you want to say, but I already told the other one that he didn't do it, and I don't know why it even matters, because from what I was told, he isn't here anymore. Can you guys stay until he gets back, or at least one of you would like somebody to talk to?
They like look at each other like, we're not supposed to, like, just like, wait. Well, unfortunately, we have quite a lot of business to attend to. But we did hear that Major Eucilius is going to go get, I believe it was the knight who was with you in the carriage.
Who?
Major Eucilius.
Frentius?
Yes. Yes. He has gone to go get the knight that was with you in the carriage, so
right.
They should be up presently.
Are you guys soldiers?
Yes.
What do you do?
Oh, general, whatever they sort of, tell us to do.
Were you in the war?
Yes, we were. Like when you start asking a Navy guy about what the reactor's set to, and they're like, I have to filter what I say, this is that.
Can you tell me what it was about? I don't know anything about it, and I know that I knew some people that were in it.
They're looking at you like you have grown an additional eyeball.
Yeah.
And they look at each other and roll a perception check.
Okay. 11.
And you can kind of see them more. Like, it was pretty evident their sort of rough it upness.
Yeah.
But you see them more, and you're kind of like taking them in as people now.
Yeah.
And you see that they have kind of like they look sort of young and old at the same time. Like, you could be 21 or you could be 40, and I really can't tell.
Yeah.
Like, weirdly lines on the face of someone who is young looking, though. And they sort of have tight, like, kind of drawn expressions, and they sort of look at each other and they're trying. It's not that they don't want to answer your question.
Yeah.
And there's a taller one. The taller one is the one with the door, holding the door shut. And they're sort of looking at you dumbfounded, like, what do you mean, what was the war about? And he says, it doesn't matter what it was about, because it's over now.
Well, it seems like there's a lot of stuff that I should know, because I've heard a lot of people say stuff about it, and I don't know anything about it. And I don't know. I just kind of want to think about something else for a little bit.
And you would prefer to think about
the war?
They're kind of, like, quiet for a while, thinking, like, wow, this is entertainment to, like, my bad time is entertainment to this, but also, like, you've been through a bad time.
Yeah. And I think Tavumile fully doesn't understand the concept of what a war is, because Lucien wouldn't talk to her about it, and Senthid would talk to her about, like, oh, I got drunk this one time and then it was a great time, but he wouldn't be like, I have killed 27.
I have killed many men. Yeah, so I think Tavumile's sort of experience in the war was, and I apologize for this, but America's experience in World War II, where it was like the war was happening somewhere else. And so, yes, there were effects and, but as far as she was concerned, they grew vegetables and sometimes you could get less seeds.
Yeah.
Because, or the military needed food that you made and so you went hungry for a while. But there was no fighting on your
bombing.
Yeah. And so, it's fun or interesting maybe to have a someone tell you stories about the war as like an American child around that time, because it's not real as far as you're concerned, whereas to the other places it was. And so they're sort of looking at you because they don't know that.
Yeah.
They know that they can tell that you would have lived through the war.
Yeah.
And so they don't really understand how you could. It would be impossible for them to understand how you could not kind of understand it.
Yeah.
You can kind of see as the one tells you it's over, you don't have to worry about it. And you say, oh, I want to take my mind off of things. He goes, lots and lots of people died. And the only reason that it ended was due to a miracle, shall we say?
A miracle?
Yes, indeed.
What does that mean?
Well, you see, 3 extremely different nations were able to come to an agreement. And as a result of that, it's over now. So there's no need to think about it, and there's no need for you to learn about it. But it certainly isn't entertaining.
Entertaining? I don't think that it's entertaining. I think that I don't know. It's just different information than what I just got.
I don't know where you would have lived. This is the shorter one. He's kind of standing up at you. I don't know where you would have lived, where you would have been able to miss it, but you can thank your lucky stars that you did.
You don't know where I lived. I was just told about where I lived, and it seemed like he did know where I lived. Are you not told everything?
We're soldiers. We just do what they tell us to do. Now, we have to get back to our duties. Major Eucilius and the aforementioned knight should be up shortly. Enjoy your, that. And he, elbow points at the stew.
What is it?
This sort of pumpkin.
I love pumpkin.
Well, you love this
I
then.
used to grow pumpkin, and my mom and I.
Okay, I think this is a good time for us to go. And they like link arms and like zip zoop out of the room. And before they fully leave,
Yeah.
Roll a perception check.
Okay. 18.
You can see that they both were sort of they when they walked in, they looked sort of neutral, sheepish.
Yeah.
Like they were like, she heard.
Yeah.
We just gotta pretend that didn't happen. And then now that they are leaving, they are looking at you. The shorter one kind of looks back at you.
Mm-hmm.
And right as they're about to shut the door, and you see on his face this expression of sort of sadness and kind of hurtness
Okay.
for you, but also an expression of pity,
Okay.
but directed specifically at your own naivety.
Okay.
So sort of looking down on you in a way that they weren't before.
Okay.
But still kind of that, like, I feel bad for you, but I think a part of the reason I feel bad for you is because I don't think you understand anything.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like, it's like a combination of he's looking down on you, and also that's a big part of why he feels bad for you.
Okay.
Yeah. So that kind of flashes for a minute in front of his eyes, and then they shut the door and lock it.
Okay. I think that she kind of thinks about that, and she's like,
I guess I don't really want them to be my friend.
and then goes and like sits down in front of the stew, but doesn't touch it at all. I think she just like stares at it.
Mm-hmm. Roll one last perception check.
Okay. 18 again.
Okay. As you kind of stare into the stew, you're sort of attuned to what their voices sounded like now,
Yeah.
and you sort of pick them up just as you can imagine. This is a spiral tower.
Yeah.
You know, it's a tall tower, so the staircase goes like that. How else? It couldn't. You can't. It won't work.
Yeah.
You can imagine sort of just around the corner, you just pick up a slightly deeper voice that goes, "Do you think she believes it now?" And we are going to disappear from that universe. What does Tavumile think? You have 1 second to tell me her reaction to that.
So I don't have to believe it.
There we go. Okay, cool. So, we're gonna pop back into the sort of mind's eye. We'll say you follow that voice down in your mind's eye. You hear that with your 18 friggin' perception.
Heck yeah, man. Hey, look, I rolled a lot of freaking awful
You have.
ones.
This is true. 18 was clutch, though.
Yep.
I was like, this has got to be high. Oh,
Oh, man.
it's got to be higher than that. No. And
It's got to be a nat 30.
It's got to be a nat 30. Yeah, not like pluses. It has to be a nat 30. You have a D30. The camera follows back up. It just back up into your room, hits you in the face, and then you say, "So I don't have to believe it."
Yeah.
And as that kind of happens, it kind of travels deep into your eye, into your pupil, and we arrive back out on the other side in somebody else's mind's eye, and that somebody else is wearing all black clothing, incognito, and she is currently perched on the top of a very familiar residence.
Oh, God, man.
Yezi
Yeah.
would know this, so I'm going to tell her that she knows where she is.
Yeah.
You also do. And just for sort of table setting, it is about 12 o'clock on the day of the ball.
Okay.
So this is a flashback.
Okay.
So, as you sit, sort of, it's like a slightly overcast at this point, but still like patches of sunlight. And as you sort of sit atop the tallest part of the house, did we agree it was 3 stories? Was that true?
I don't think we ever specified.
Okay, how
but
many
there
stories would
is.
it be?
I would say it's a.
It has to at least have an upstairs.
Well, yeah. So
Yeah.
Tavumile's room is upstairs. I think that it's a 2-story house, but it has like an attic as well.
Okay, and that's her room specifically?
The attic is her room.
Yes. Is that, or is it bottom story, a second story, and then an attic?
Yes.
Okay, got it. So you're on the second floor. Where is your mom's room?
On the bottom floor.
Okay.
Past the kitchen down like a hallway.
Okay, got it. So, you are standing on the roof, regardless, right above the attic. And from your vantage point, as you look out over the fields of only just water clary, you just to go over everything that's happened so far so that you can make sure that you did everything right. You counted 10 Talenti guards. And
who are there currently, like guarding
Oh,
the
they're
fields.
there.
Yeah.
They're there. You counted 10 Talenti guards. And in your pocket are the 10 identifiers of all of these guards.
Okay.
And your hand is in your pocket, and you're counting them in your hand to make sure that you got all 10. And you can just see.
I just realized.
You can just see in the sort of watery field, like irrigated area, right, the closest one to the house, you can just barely see the sort of orangish pant leg of a Talenti guard as he lies dead with his body hidden in the water clary fields. And yeah,
I probably should have hidden that a little bit better. Ugh, I guess it does not matter. Somebody will find it eventually.
well, I'll tell you this. There's a chance they may not find it. Because what is on the docket today, as you also would know, is something that is atypical for you to be part of, namely a kidnapping. But that is not your job. You are a contractor for the Uwethwei military, but you have been sworn to secrecy talking about this operation with anyone who isn't involved in it.
Yeah.
Which is... would you have worked with them before ever, or do you think this would be your first time working with a military as a contractor?
I think that this would be my first time because I typically just work within an assassin's guild and like freaking lowest of the low, like not a lot
killing
going
a
on.
snail.
Yeah, like you know, not a lot going on. And then there was just like suddenly they reached out and be like, "Hey, send us your freaking best person. We want somebody that not a lot of people know about because we don't want this to be a big thing."
Yeah, we want it to be low key. So your job basically was to end those guards' lives and hide them quietly and quickly and incognito so that they do not become an issue. And as you go over your orders, you hear in your mind's eye's ear Frenthius's voice, who you would know as Major Eucilius Uwethwei, say to you, "Take the mother only. Kill anyone else you find." As he gave you and these other Uwethwei rogue soldiers who you are with your orders for this mission. So, the table has been set, and it is time to eat, baby. You know that the rogues are currently, as you sit atop the tower counting all of these soldier identifiers. It's something like a ID that they would have that you would be able to, like a dog tag type thing. That they are planting incendiary fire bombs around the farm.
Yeah.
And in this house, in and around the house.
I think that as she thinks about that, she kind of thinks about how she protested that, because I think that she's like, God, all of these soldiers and their fanfare, I don't understand why they have to they can't just do things quietly. They just have to always show some kind of mark that they were here. Stupid.
I love that. So you know that your next job is basically to locate, because of reasons that I'm not going to tell you. They all know that Tavumile's mom is there.
Yeah.
They don't know who else could be there.
Yeah.
But they heard tell that Tavumile's mom won't be an issue.
Okay.
So you won't worried about where she is. You're worried about where anyone else could be.
Yeah.
So as you sit on top of this roof, is there anything else you want to do before you get to work?
I think that she kind of like looks out around, kind of brushes some dust off of her freaking shoes, realizes she's got like some blood on her glove. She's like, oh man, I just bought these. Ugh. All right. I guess there can't be that many people here. This is not a big house. Yeah, I guess we will see.
All right. So, you're looking for anybody, basically. What would you sort of start with? What would be Yezi's process here?
I think that...
Well, you talk, and then okay. I will talk.
So are the the way that this is set up, she's gonna go inside, or she's gonna kind of scope out the area. Does she know if the soldiers are going to wait for
they're gonna wait for you to clear
say,
the
okay.
house, or otherwise indicate to them that it's go time.
Okay.
So
I think
you can take your time.
Yeah.
Period.
The reason why I asked that is because she really doesn't care about this at all.
Yeah.
And so I think that she kind of hops off of the roof, does like a little flip, whatever, lands on her feet, and just walks through the front door. Just straight up like, I don't know. I mean, this is the quickest way to see if anybody is in here.
Okay. You are going to try to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. The door has been unlocked by the rogues because they had planted... Well, actually, let me see if that was something, because you wouldn't need fire bombs to go off inside a house in order for it to burn down if it was made of wood. Okay, it was not unlocked. It was actually ridiculously not unlocked.
Okay.
And we'll say the reason for that is that Lucien is a little bit paranoid and, like, installed some sort of, like, fingerprint scanner. Like, not really, but, like, some sort of legit lock on the door. What would Tavumile have thought of that? Like, watching him, affix this lock to the door.
I think that freaking Tavumile probably would have been like, Lucien, what is that?
It's a lock. What you got on the door isn't enough, okay? If somebody, tries to... So, I've got this, so...
Well, I'm not against the lock. I just, I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to figure it out. It looks kind of complicated.
That's a good point. He takes it off and pulls out a less complicated lock.
I don't...
I think you can make this one work, okay? It's just, you just use it, okay?
Okay.
And
Can you show me how to use it?
Yeah, of course. And he spends the next 3 hours showing you how to put a key in a doorknob. It's not complicated, but you're like psyching yourself out over it.
Are you sure that this is the right way? I'm afraid that I'm gonna.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm so sure.
I'm just afraid that I'm gonna break it.
No, you're not.
Okay.
They're so expensive. I mean, it wasn't that expensive. Anyway.
All right.
Slowly puts key in lock.
Now what do I do?
Okay, so you're gonna turn it.
Are you sure that that's the way that?
Tavu.
Yeah.
Have I ever led you astray before?
Well, one time we got lost.
Okay. Other than that, though.
I guess not.
Just trust me.
Click.
I think I did it.
Thank God. You're going to pop back into the assassin who's there to murder Lucien. Pop back into her, and you could check the door handle. It might make a noise if you clinked it, and the rogues are there, and as you kind of go for that option, they're going to do like a little like, we can freaking get it open. We don't know what the heck, and we can't break in because it will make sound. So.
Okay.
Or like they're worried, but you can
I'm going to knock on the door.
Okay, someone's going to try and stop you from doing that.
Okay.
So make an opposed, we'll do an opposed, you're going to roll sleight of hand, which you'll probably do a good job. Well, what would you roll? I'm going to say that this, I think that this rogue would try and grapple you.
Okay.
So we're going to say that
You think that he would do that? Gonna make a lot of freaking noise.
You know what would make more noise?
Knocking on the door.
So I think that, he's going to try and grapple you. I like how you're like,
I think,
what you said though.
I think, as he comes closer, I am going to say,
Oh, if you do that, I am going to scream.
just to make him not.
Okay, well, so the order of operations is, you look like you're gonna do that, and then what you see him.
Do you want me to roll a perception to see if I'd notice him coming at me?
Yeah.
Okay. 13.
Okay, you fully see him coming. So, like, he sees you doing one of these, and, you see him not be fine with that. And so you say what?
Oh, if you do that, I am going to scream. Look, why do you think that they hired me?
What are you doing?
Why does it matter to you? I'm going to get the job done. Am I not? Do you not think that I am capable of this? Because, unfortunately, I am the one that is going in here. You aren't. Last I checked. So.
Bloody stupid contractors. Roll persuasion. What did you roll?
7.
He rolled a 4.
Okay.
I contested it. So he's like, fine, okay, but they can't see us.
Well, you're kind of making it hard on yourself.
Just do whatever you want.
You have to go hide again. Go make yourself invisible.
Okay, so he's gonna like back into the bush that he was out.
Yeah.
You're gonna knock on the door?
Yeah.
Okay. Right before you go to knock on the door, I want you to roll perception.
Okay. 13.
You hear voices.
Okay.
They're on the first. Well, yeah. So you can hear that they would be coming from the first floor because they are loud enough that you are able to hear them at all. And you sort of. It sounds like it sounds like you kind of one voice. You can't hear any kind of specifics about it, but you can hear that there is talking that is happening. So you can continue your knock, or you can go investigate that specifically. Or you can just look over to see because there's rogues in that area, so maybe they'd be able to indicate to you what the dealio is.
I'll look over to them and just see if they're like, there's something over there or whatever. If they're not making any kind of indication that like they see somebody or something, I'm just gonna knock on the door.
So you look over.
Yeah.
You see one that's basically has like a neon sign that's like they're freaking this way. You know what I mean? And so they're basically what's going on is that there's rogues hiding in the sort of like general plant matter that is at the corner of where the house starts. You know what I'm freaking talking about. And so there's one next door is the one that you talk to, and then there are a few others, and then the rest of them are just elsewhere. Getting ready to planting bombs elsewhere. And so the other one is this whole time been kind of trying to get your attention to be like this one. You don't even have to do that. You see him kind of just like doing one of these.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, "Ugh, what is it this time? And then go and like look, or go to where he's like, over here,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of casually walk over there. I think I will try to like, if it's around the house or whatever, I'll kind of just like peek my head out a little bit to perceive whatever it is that they're pointing at.
Okay, so the rogue is at the corner of that house. There's 4 corners of the house. He's at the corner that is in between where you were and the window from which the sound is emitting.
Okay.
The window of the room where the voice is coming from.
Yeah.
So as you approach that corner, you hear the voice more clearly. You still can't make out what it's saying.
Okay.
But you know that there's a voice. That sort of one moment that you heard while you were closer to the door was sort of like a vocalization, a word that was louder than the rest of everything else. So you were able, it was just kind of like, that type of thing. And so that's what caught your attention. And now you're still hearing this sort of like
mumble
voice.
Yeah.
You can tell now that it is a man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do I hear multiple voices or is it just one?
So far, you've just heard the one.
Okay. Am I able to see through? You said that it's next to a window, right?
Yeah, so the voice is definitely coming the loudest from a window. So you
Can I see through it?
you're not at the window.
Can I? Yeah. Can I
you want to go to
yeah,
the window?
I want to be stealthy about it though, just
Okay.
so that it's not like, hey, somebody's peeping through your window.
Yeah. Cool. Go ahead and roll stealth, and roll with advantage.
Okay, so it's either a 24 or a 15. So 24.
Okay, yeah. So you're fine. Okay, cool. So as you kind of approach the window,
Yeah.
as you get closer, you notice that it's not that the window's open, but that it is damaged.
Okay.
And there's some sort of like shoddy half repair that someone who doesn't really know what they were doing is trying to fix a window. And so it is sort of off track with the wall.
Yeah.
So it's not that it's open, but you can hear because there's a kind of breakage section. And you hear a voice. And now that you are underneath, where are you relative to the window? Are you underneath it? Are you just next to it, kind of like back up against the wall?
Yeah, I think I'm like next to it, back up against the wall kind of thing.
But you're not peeking through it.
I want to, but I don't want them to see me.
You want to hear what they're saying first before you kind of do that. Okay, cool. So you hear a voice. And before I describe this, go ahead and roll me one more perception check.
Okay. 5.
Okay. You don't. Your hackles are too up to
Yeah.
get really granular about the minutia of his voice and all that stuff. And you hear a voice say, "I hate lying to your bloody daughter. Now take the bloody potion and bloody fall asleep before she bloody comes back, or all." "My daughter? Why do you sound so angry?" And that's the first part of what you hear. You can keep listening, or you can interrupt.
I think
and
I'm
do something
gonna
about it.
listen a little bit longer.
Okay. So as you listen, you hear, "Don't be scared, please. Look, I'm a doctor. I work nearby. My name is Lucien Valmoira." "Lucien? Lucien?" Yes, Lucien, you know me. "I've come here to give you your medicine." No, I won't. Miss Fenra, it will make you better." That's the next part that you hear. You can interrupt or you can keep going.
My heart, dude. So, I think Yezi, she does not want to be an assassin at all. She has to do this because she has to, and you guys will find out why later. And she is always looking for a reason to not have to kill somebody. Like, a moral reason to be like, I will put myself at risk not killing you, as long as it's a good reason. So I think that she's like, as
horrible and sad as this is right now, this honestly might be my way to not have to do any of this. So let me just hear a little bit more.
See how good this reason is. So yes, Lucien said, Miss Fenra, it will make you better. Please don't make me do this. Please. Miss Fenra, I understand. No matter how many times you explain it, I understand, but you've got to go to sleep. You've got to... And you hear, like, a deep breath, and then roll another perception check.
Okay. 6. Freaking.
You hear a whisper.
Mm.
He whispers for a while, and then he stops, takes another deep breath. What would she do without you? She? Miss Fenra, your daughter. The girl in my nightmares? Please don't mention her. I'll see her. They'll hurt her. I'll see her. Miss Fenra, please, calm down. She could be walking down the street outside if you scream and she bloody hears you. Look, they can't hurt her. They can't hurt anyone. They're not real. That's the next part.
I think that... Oh, my God. I think that Yezi kind of closes her eyes and smiles a little bit to herself because she's like, yep, I'm not going to do this. And I found my reason why. And this is... Wow, I kind of feel morally bad about being happy about this. Oh, well. And then walks to the front door and knocks on it.
Are you going to walk back to the front door?
Yep.
Okay, so as you walk away, you hear the conversation continue.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets quieter as you keep walking in that direction. And you hear, I don't care if they're real or not. You can't force me to see that every night. I see you too. I see you, and who cares if they're not real? Who cares if the things I see really never come to pass when I have to experience them every time I shut my eyes? And then it just starts getting muffled, and you hear the man's voice afterwards say something else that was, loud. And you hear the woman talk again, and as you continue in that direction, their voices just become sort of nothing. They kind of slowly fade away. You get to the front door, and there you are, standing in front of it.
I'm going to do a friendly knock.
Roll a perception with disadvantage for someone. This individual rolled a 1 and a 4. And the reason why is because all of a sudden you hear, and then you hear a woman scream.
Oh, God. I'm going to freaking run back to the window. And this time I'm not being stealthy, but I'm just looking.
Oh, you're just...
Yeah.
Do you look in the window, like, when you get there?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you book it back around the corner. The rogues are
this
like...
is not what I thought was
the rogues are like, what the heck is
And I'm going
going
to signal to them, just like, stay fucking hidden.
Hold on, I gotta figure this out.
Yeah.
So they're like, and as you get around the corner, you said you're not being stealthy. All right, let me roll another disadvantage perception check. You as you run around the corner, and you get to the window. When you get to the window, are you just gonna stand in front of it like this, or are you gonna like corner peek, or are you gonna what's the deal?
Freaking stand in front of it, just like, yo, what the heck? Because I think in her mind she's like, if they notice me, I'll just say that I was somebody walking by and then heard this sound because what the heck?
So you get to the window.
Yeah.
And as you get closer and closer to the window, you hear the conversation that took place after this event. The voices, getting... They were sort of reached a bit of a fever pitch, and they're kind of, like, calming down.
Yeah.
You hear a extremely distressed woman just... and you hear a voice go, look, I'm sorry. I'm just a little bit frustrated with the situation. I didn't mean to scare you. What are you here to do? I'm a doctor. And you hear the sound of if you've ever run into a plaster wall, you can hear kind of the inside break apart and fall down. And that's sort of the moment that you walk past and walk to the window. And you see, in that moment, a winter eldrin.
Okay.
Who looks a little bit worse for wear, at least in the emotional department.
Yeah.
And there is a dent in the wall next to, it's sort of like window, bed with woman in it.
Yeah.
This eldrin, and then the rest of the room. So like her bed is next to the window. And so he has slammed his fist presumably into the wall, and dropped it down. And you can see like a dent in the wall. And as you kind of pop up in front of the window, he's going to stop mid-sentence, mid-explanation, and look up, and his like eyes meet your eyes.
Okay. When Lucien looks at me, this is what he sees.
Okay.
Just to be like descriptive, you know what my character looks like. He looks up and he sees a 5'4" Earth genasi. She is currently in all black leather armor. It is completely covering every inch of her body except for her face. Like it's like a high collar kind of deal. And her hair is like back in a braid, and it is dark gray with like little strings of white in it, and has like the blunt cut across bangs. And the little bits of white in her hair gleam in the sunlight, kind of like when you pick up a shiny rock and it like glints in the sunlight. And all of her skin on her face looks like it is made out of stone. It's like very like mottled and dark gray, kind of like that. But half of her face has a wooden mask on it that's cut in a very like peculiar way, because it is covering up certain parts of her face, but only as much as it needs to. And you can't tell what's underneath it, but there is like a little line of starting from like mid cheek down her jaw and then down into the like clothing, so it disappears, is like a streak of like multicolored something. Like you can't really tell what it is. And both of her eyes are different colors, and the one where the mask is kind of like there's like a hole cut out so that eye can see through is pitch black. Like the iris is pitch black. It still looks like, white sclera, whatever, but like pitch black iris, whatever. And the other eye is the color of polished fire opal.
Dang, bro.
And I think that she makes eye contact with Lucien, gives a big smile, and waves.
Hi, can you come to the door?
When you say that, you hear, who's that?
I duck down. I'm like, I don't want to make this worse.
Are you here to save me? What's going on? Are you here to save me from this man? I don't. And you hear like angry noises.
Hi, I'm gonna be standing in front of the door if you want to.
Who are you?
Well, we can have that conversation inside.
He's like, the bed is in front of the window, pretty much. He is going to, you hear sounds of yanking.
Yeah.
And you hear just like footsteps, like angrily walking around the bed. And like as he was, you hear and like lady not having it, like is not good right now. And you see appearing as you said you crouched down in front of the window, you see Lucien is just like looming over the window. What's the meaning of this?
Hi, I don't want to make the situation any worse. I see that she is I don't know.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
Look, I think that it's
I think she says this like quietly. She's like,
I think that it's worth it if you talk to me. Can I just come inside a little bit? You're Lucien, right?
Why do you know my name?
Well...
He's gonna grab the window, which is broken.
Yeah.
And he's gonna force it up as much as he can to like come out of it. Like he's fixing to leave.
Look,
the
I
window.
don't think that you want to come out here. Just
Is that a bloody threat?
It's not at all. It's actually quite the opposite. If you want to know what's going on, just let me inside your house. Don't make this into a big deal, and then I will tell you what is going on. But you are making quite a lot of noise, and I'm a little bit concerned.
What makes you think I'm gonna let you in here?
Well, I do think that it is in your best interest to let me in.
Do you think so? And you see his hands start glowing with fire, which, by the way, is made out of fire.
Yeah.
This is a wooden house surrounded with fire bombs.
Yeah.
So you can just keep that in mind.
I do think so. I don't really want to say anything else more because, well, for reasons that I have. But I would like to quite meet you. I have some things I want to discuss.
He's gonna like look at you while you say that. You can roll if you want to roll persuasion. I'll let you do that. I'm gonna contest it.
I got 12.
Okay. He rolled a 17.
Okay. But I think what she will say is like,
Look, I don't know if this lady is your family or not. You said something about the daughter. Well, this is in the best interest for her. She's a mother, right?
When you say that, he is going to throw.
Fuck.
He is gonna throw a sacred flame cantrip at you.
okay, I'm going to dodge.
So we'll say that this was he's a little bit of a paranoid guy, and he was strapped up. So he grabbed that sacred flame potion out of his pocket and just tossed it right through the open window at you. So you said you're gonna dodge it?
Yeah.
What does that mean? Do I roll disadvantage to hit?
It's a reaction for half damage. It's uncanny dodge.
Oh, yeah, okay, cool. So, you need to make a DC 17 dexterity saving throw or take 2d8 of radiant damage. But you take no damage if the save is made. So if you want to not... Do you get unlimited uncanny dodges as a rogue?
Yeah, it's like per
okay,
turn.
cool.
It's a reaction.
So, yeah, so if it does hit, you'll still get half damage.
15.
Okay,
So
well,
close.
you take 1d8 of radiant damage. Well, actually, I'll roll 2d8 and you can
then
take
half
whatever
of that,
half of that is. Yeah. 3, 2. You take half of 5. So what do you round? You round down, right? So you take 2 damage. So we'll say that as he tosses it, it clips the top window. And so you only get hit with some of the fire. And so right when you say, she's a mother, right? Something about a daughter or something like that. You see, like, he has, like, icy cool blue eyes. Winter, #winter. And when you say that, it's like his pupil goes, like, pinpoint, like, super tiny, like, lizard boy. And he just, like, it's like he's not in control of his actions. He's being piloted by something.
Yeah.
And he just takes it out of his pocket and freaking whips it through the window.
Okay.
And he's so juiced up when you say that it clips the top of the window.
Okay.
And just, like, some of it gets on you.
God, fuck.
But when that happens,
Yeah.
that is as good enough as anything to the rogues who are stationed outside of the house. And all of a sudden, you hear just cacophonous shattering of glass and doors. And just like, general break-in time type behaviors. And when Lucien hears that, he's gonna like slam both of his hands up against the window glass and be like, "What is going on?"
I told you that this was in your best interest.
He like turns around and goes to grab, because the door of the room was open.
Yeah.
That he was in. And also like
When he turns around, I go inside the window.
Okay. That's fine. I'm not gonna make you. Is that cool? Hibisbos, that's her name, Miss Fenra, is like losing her. Like she was already, while you were having this sort of, aggressive conversation, was like general distressed lady noises, and she is just full screaming now, like terrified of whatever's going on.
I think that I'm gonna kneel down in front of her and kind of like take her hands in my hands and be like,
Oh, everything is all right. Nothing is wrong.
So as you are doing that, trying to calm her down, you kind of slink through the window because you're an assassin like that. And Lucien is going to go shut, lock, whatever, the door. And he gets his hands around the doorknob, and before he can do anything about it, there's a hand pulling the door open, and there's another hand around his neck. And you can hear him just be like, "What's going on? Who are you?" You know, general, pissed off, whatever noises. And he's gonna turn around, just to try and get back. He's like grabbing both sides of the door frame, just like trying to pull himself back into the room. And when he is doing that, he sees you, like interacting with Miss Fenra. And he's going to do something about it.
I do think that when people start to grab him, I react to that, and I'm just like, look, you're supposed to let me handle it. Why are you even... Oh my god, you and your soldiers.
You hear, like, another rogue that has kind of snuck as... I'm gonna let Lucien... before this happens, I'm gonna let him do his spell that he was gonna do. Because technically now, Lucien, you, whether you want to be or not, and the rogues are in combat. We're gonna roll initiative real quick. What did you roll?
11.
Okay, you go last.
And I've already taken a reaction, so whatever's gonna freaking happen to me, I can't react to it until my next turn. Okay. Or, like, I regain my reaction my next turn.
So, fortunately for my storytelling, Lucien goes first. Actually, him and the rogues both rolled a 17, so I had them roll to see of which one was higher. He's going to inflict wounds on the rogues that are grappling him. Okay. So, just so that, like, he would be able to presumably get back to you. Yeah. Like, that's his... You can tell that that's his goal. Okay. And so, he's going to use it on the... rogue that has the arm around his neck. Okay. And he is going to roll to hit. I mean, it works for the story. Really useful for the story. He is just, like, so, out of sorts that he can do no... Well, actually, on a hit, it would have to be a hit. Yeah, so, he totally freaking misses. I was like, maybe it's a spell that you... Yeah, whatever. You don't need it. Yeah, but no, it says on a hit. So he's like trying to get to his stuff, same problem, and he just can't aim in any direction. Yeah, and so he's trying to throw something out, and it fully doesn't work. And as he does that, he's gonna say, "Miss Fenra, get up, run, go somewhere." And she's just like staring deeply into your weird eyeballs that she's never seen before. And she's just like,
I'm going to say to her, like, I think that you should listen to him.
Okay, so that's on your turn you're gonna say that?
Yeah,
okay,
and I'm on my turn. I'll wait till it's my turn.
Cool. So the rogues are going to hit Lucien. There are 3 that can reach him right now. +7 to hit. It still misses. Okay, so 1 miss, 1 hits, 1 gets a nat 1. Okay, cool. So one of them is gonna hit.
So this is why I was in charge of this.
Just punch my own face. So 1d4 plus 4 plus 3d6. Yep. He takes 16 damage. Okay. Which probably doesn't feel excellent. Man, that could have been so much worse for him though. The one rogue that missed, like when Lucien went for this potion to throw, he moved slightly out of the way so that Lucien couldn't it wasn't in the way, like when he went to do his dagger, and then the other one just fully just like like stabbed him in the back, like full bad time .com. And then the one that rolled a nat 1 missed and hit the one next to it. Okay. So we're gonna roll damage for that also, and it's gonna count as sneak attack because he's next to an ally. 13 plus 2, so 15. So that is pretty stanky. And so he's literally gonna like hit some sort of, as he goes to stab up he hit the one that missed.
Yeah.
And so he just gets him like right in the kind of upper back shoulder blade. He just like goes to stab and he's like, oh, this is so nose, and the other guy's just like, oh, like screaming.
Yeah.
And you're watching this with sort of like amusement, vague amusement. So basically you see the 3 Stooges, except one of the Stooges is on point, and one of the Stooges is really not on point. Yeah. It's like a Spumoni, you know? It's like Neapolitan ice cream. You got 3 different flavors.
Oh.
Yeah. And then Lucien is just like got a dagger stuck into his back, and is just like basically still continuing to be pulled in the general direction of out the door.
Yeah.
So yeah, now it's your turn.
So I say that to the mom.
You say, I think that you should
listen to him.
Who?
To Lucien. That's Lucien, right?
Who's that? And she's like, single tear.
Yeah. I'm going to cup my hand on her cheek and I'm just going to say, it's going to be all right. I promise. And then I get up and I kind of walk to the door frame and I lean against it with my arms crossed because I don't want to help them at all, but I also can't stop them without being suspicious.
What, you're just watching them like restrain Lucien?
And I'm going to say, what is it with all of you soldiers and all of this fanfare? You can't follow a single order, can you? This is... Oh, and now you're going to stab your friend. You're absolutely horrible at this.
That wasn't necessarily...
Quit talking. Why don't you just get out of here and just do what you were here for? Let me handle this.
When you... Are you going to do anything else for your turn?
No.
Okay, cool. So, when you say that, you kind of hear someone walking up behind you, and you feel a hand on your shoulder.
Okay.
You hear someone go, we are handling it. And
I'm gonna look.
No, you're not, because it's not your turn.
Okay.
And then Lucien is going to try to break free of their grapple again. He's going to cast Inflict Wounds on Cleric. He's the cleric. On the rogue that just got stabbed. And so he's going to roll to hit. He hits, and he is going to hit the one who got stabbed also.
Okay.
Is going to take 3d10 of necrotic damage. 10. Okay. Lucien's a little bit angry. And so as...
30 damage.
Yeah. The guy only had like 18 left. And so as he kind of like, he turns around to like catch the eye of the one that got stabbed, he's going to take this potion that he has in his kind of, pocket, like fanny pack type, cleric dealio, reaches into it, and he's going to take it, and he's just going to use his straight hand and just bury it in his chest. Oof. Like smashing the bottle into his armor.
Yeah.
And it's gonna just cover him in this like blast of acid, and he's just like screaming. And you can see like parts of his armor and face and body are melting away.
God.
As he like just collapses on his knees onto the ground, and he had it like bubbled and popped like as it kind of melted him away, and you can see little flecks of man juices like blood, something on his face, with his completely pinpoint pupils, glassy blue eyes as they kind of turn and look over at the next rogue who would try to do something.
Yeah.
So that's Lucien's turn. Fixing to do some more damage. And as he kind of turns in that direction, it's going to be the rogue's turn. And all of a sudden, 2 more show up behind him.
Yeah.
They are, at this point, the idea is that they kind of expected you to have done this part.
Yeah.
And so they're kind of like, well, this has to get done. And so basically what's going on is that it's going to get done unless you can prevent it from getting done. Or, like, you're getting a sense that maybe they're just like, well, he's gonna have to get killed, so we might as well go about it like this. But as you see that, you notice that the two rogues that have appeared are not going for Lucien.
Okay.
They run past you into the room, and they are gonna go to grab aforementioned kidnapping target.
Okay. I want Yezi to say to them, like, at least just be nice to her.
Okay, so as you do that, they're going to use their interact with the object. There was a potion that their plan for this kidnapping was to use to drug her, to make her fall asleep. Probably, since these are Uwethwei soldiers, it would be similar to the one that was used on Tavumile earlier. And they, and probably a different degree of strength. Because yours kind of took a while. Presumably they want her to go to sleep so she's not screaming the place down the whole way. And they're going to physically restrain her. She is not going to be able to stop them. Like, even with okay, well, let's roll for it. At disadvantage also, because, Yeah, so she's not going to be able to stop them. And so basically they kind of like grab her and hold her down. She's just like making general distressed noises. Lucien is looking on, but can't even really look on because he's got his hands full right now. Kind of like in the door frame, trying to pull himself back inside. And they're going to restrain her and pour this potion into her mouth. And it takes a second. She's like moving around, fully not into it, not really able to do anything about it, but not also able to, she's not stopping freaking out. And then the potion starts to kind of take effect. And she just becomes more subdued. Her eyes kind of like half lidded. And she just fully kind of like slips into unconsciousness from this like completely heightened state. And as this happens and Lucien is kind of restrained, he's just gonna say, "Please, what are you doing?" And that's gonna be the rogue's turn.
Okay. I think that who friggin' hand on shoulder me? Who's that?
Are you gonna turn around and find out?
Yeah.
As you turn around, it is the rogue with whom you spoke.
Okay.
In the doorway. You know him to be in charge of all of the thieves for this operation. And he was the one that you spoke to at the front door when he was sort of like, "What the heck do you think you're doing?" So what did you want to say to him? He had his hand on your shoulder and said that we're doing this now, so.
I'm gonna like look up to him and just be like, "Do you not trust me to finish the job? I mean, you got what you came here for. Isn't that more important? I'll meet up with you guys afterwards. Is that not okay?" And I'm gonna give him like the most like, I don't know, freaking pretty girl eye, like, try to be like, I am so, when you're, I don't know how to describe this. When you're like trying to convince your boyfriend to do something for you that's like very, not like, "Oh, will you please go get me leave the freaking couch to get me a glass of water that I could go get myself." And like, it's like such like a, please.
Please.
I think that she's trying to do that. Not for any reason besides just, like, throw him off his guard, being like, "Wait, what the heck?"
Okay, so you're trying to be, like, cute.
Yeah.
You're trying to appeal to his more base sort of nature. He is going to definitely be taken aback by this, but because you aren't a high elf, he's racist, so you're not going to get advantage. Go ahead, roll persuasion.
All right. 10.
Really? Meets and beats it. Okay, because this is your job. So he's going to kind of like look at you, raise an eyebrow, and
Has anyone ever told you that your eyes are very nice?
don't you think this is a bit unprofessional? And he's
Who
gonna
cares?
he's gonna like turn and be like, nobody heard that, right? And he's going to say, fine, but you have, the clock is ticking. You have until you know what happens to get out of here alive. And he's going to, in Thieves Can't, do you speak Thieves Can't?
I do.
Okay, cool. He's going to, in Thieves Can't, kind of do the, like, you know, physical motions to the thieves who are not attacking Lucien because they're kind of busy, to ready the escape plan, which is, of course, torching the house and burning alive everybody else in it. So that's that kind of interaction ended. Do you have anything else you want to do during your turn?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so that turn ends. So right now there are two individuals who have grappled Lucien. And he is now fully focusing his own self on getting to, like, as he was before, trying to get to Hibisbos, like, before she is taken away. And right now we had them, the rogues drugged her and then are fixing to presumably get her out of there. So whatever that looks like to him, you know, like wrapping her up in the blanket, picking up her legs, upper body and stuff. But they're still in there. He's going to cast Command.
Okay.
And he is going to cast it at 4th level.
Okay.
Which means when you cast this spell slot using a spell slot of 2nd level or higher, you can affect one additional creature for each slot level above first. The creatures must be within 30 feet of you when you target them. So he is going to target the two rogues who are trying to get her mom, and he is going to target one of the ones that is attacking him, the one that is fully healthy.
Okay.
That is attacking him. So they have to roll wisdom saving throws. 3 fails, so they all fail.
Okay.
And the command that he's going to give them is drop.
Okay.
And so the moment he says it, he pops the lid off of this potion, slams it into the ground, and it just sort of splatters. And when it splatters, it hits one of the ones that are attacking him, and then the two that are trying to take the mom away.
Yeah.
And they, the two trying to take mom away, fully just, you know, eyes glass over and let go. They just fully let go, and Hibisbos hits the ground like a friggin' sack of potatoes. She's gonna take some damage because that sucks. Didn't feel too good, but that she's alive is you know, she's not alive. And then one of the ones that was attacking him drops the dagger it was using to attack him. So now he just has one grappling him, and he doesn't have anything else he can do about that.
Okay.
They're going to drop all their stuff, and then he's going to be grappled. It's still by one of them, and he is going to turn to the rogue.
Okay.
Who, the one that is in charge, not the one that is grappling him. And he's going to turn and just fix him with this look of just, like, pure hatred.
Yeah.
And he's going to say something in Elvish. Do you speak Elvish?
No.
You don't?
No.
Well, he's going to say something in Elvish. And Elvish is very, like, you know, whatever. And typically when you have heard it, it has sounded sort of, you know, gentle and soft. And you sort of have an association with the Uwethwei clan as being very, you know, austere and concerned with social conventions and structures and things of that nature. And fancy schmancy, all that good stuff. And you've never heard it spoken by an Eldrin before. And you've never heard it spoken by an Eldrin who just got stabbed in the shoulder and is presumably his patient, at least, is being kidnapped. And it sounds evil. It sounds like a curse.
Okay.
That he's spitting just pure fire at this guy.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't even sound like a language. Like it just sounds like just the vocal manifestation of pure hatred.
Okay.
And you see as Lucien says this at the head of the thieves, you see his eyes darken.
Mm-hmm.
And his eyes are going to kind of narrow. And he's going to say, well, perhaps we will stick around after all. And that's going to be the end of Lucien's turn. And now it's going to be the rogue's turn. And drops whatever it's holding, then its turn ends. So the rogues that dropped stuff dropped them on their turn.
Yeah.
So that's their turn as they have followed the command. Yeah. So drop. The one that is grappling Lucien is going to sneak attack him again.
Okay.
Because when this happened,
Mm-hmm.
additional rogues sort of came out of the woodwork.
Mm-hmm.
They're not necessarily looking like they're going to continue attacking him because Home Dog hasn't kind of like clicked his fingers yet. Well, actually, it's the rogue's turn, so he could. So that's what we'll do. Okay, so drop my sword, drop your mom. Life is bad, but she's not gone yet. And you hear the head. I'm just gonna say his name so that I can stop saying it. You would probably know it anyway. It's Austin.
Awesome.
And so Austin is they call me Awesome Austin. He is going to stamp his feet such that ideally it reverberates throughout the entire building.
Okay.
Just like pure sound. And you can tell that he is communicating in Thieves' Cant, because Thieves' Cant is motion, it'd be if two thieves are having a tea party and you kind of move the cup to one side type thing. So he is able to communicate with them from far away, which is a mechanic that you can take advantage of as Ethiod. He's going to communicate a signal to them that there's a threat that must be dealt with, which you know because you speak Thieves' Cant. And so when he does that, whatever thief you saw running about, getting things ready, checking other rooms, maybe pocketing some stuff for themselves, who knows, because thieves, they all stop and start making their way downtown, walking fast, faces past, and they're homebound. They start making their way to Lucien to do whatever it is that they're going to do. And Austin is gonna kind of like lean into you and kind of give you what you gave him, and he's gonna say, do you want to stay and watch the fireworks? And now the thief that was behind him is going to roll that sneak attack.
Okay.
I have dropped the die on the ground. So hypothetically, does sneak attack damage get doubled if you crit?
Yep.
Oh no. Wow,
6d
cinematic freaking crit roll, dude. Holy crap. So, wow. So, this, whatever it was that Lucien said in Elvish, was heard probably most intensely by the thief, what was restraining him, and has turned some sort of primal rage, like rabies button on in his brain. And he puts every single thing in his entire little Uwethwei soldier body into trying to kill Lucien now, like with the quickness. When this thief just unleashes his pure fury on Lucien, Lucien is turned around and can't do anything about the black steel dagger just plunging deep into the space in between his shoulder and his collarbone.
God.
Ooh, baby. And when this dagger sticks in his shoulder, you hear just a pure a scream. It's not even of pain.
Yeah.
It's just pure fear and sorrow and just like willing this to not be happening.
Yeah.
Like, anything else would be preferable to this. Like, it doesn't even sound like he's upset that he got hurt.
Yeah.
He just can't emotionally handle anything that's going on. When this happens, because it's also a 20,
Yeah.
he's gonna fall to his knees just on the ground in front of him, and he's not being grappled anymore because the guy is just like lost his ability to control himself.
Yeah.
This rogue, and is just like standing behind him with just this like dark look in his eyes. When he does that, Austin is going to sort of look, with his eyes. His look is a mixture of sort of retribution,
Okay.
of enjoying getting their revenge for whatever it was that Lucien said, but also sort of almost awe at what just happened.
Yeah.
Like the fact that it like so captured this rogue's emotional state that it affected him this much that he was able to pull that out of him somehow. And like Lucien is just like a mess in front, like on his hands and knees, like blood pouring down his arm. The Austin is gonna turn and kind of like he's not looking back at you. He's just going to talk. As the rogues sort of start making their way in this direction, he's going to say, in a whisper that is a whisper just for the sake of the threat and not because it needs to be quiet, he's going to say, "You should be careful what you say, Eladrin." And that's going to be the rogue's turn. Now it's Yezi's turn.
I think I'm going to walk up to Lucien with my arms crossed and kind of like put my foot on his side to push him onto his side, so he's not just on his hands and knees, but he's like laying on the ground.
You're gonna have to roll for that.
Yeah.
Roll opposed athletics. He'll roll with disadvantage.
All right.
That's how we'll do it.
16.
Okay. Good luck, Lucien. Well, he rolled a 2 and he rolled an 8. And what does he get? +0 because he's a friggin' cleric. Okay, cool. So he is going to, like, for the sake of his masculinity, make it look like he is trying to prevent getting kicked over.
Yeah.
But there's no kind of strength behind it. And are you gonna do it like in a hot way? Are you gonna like slink up and just boot push?
Yeah,
or are you gonna
and I'm
do it
making
in
like dead eye contact with Austin, trying to be like, I know this is what you like, kind of thing.
Oh snap! Golly Wally. Okay, got it.
And I'm going to, like, my arms are still crossed, and I'm going to say to him, like, why don't you just let him burn with the house? At this point, he's not going anywhere. Make it back, before dark. When all the bad people come out.
Ooh, baby. Cool. All right, roll perception with advantage.
Okay.
Because you're speaking Austin's language. Is this a good laugh?
Yeah. Perception, you said?
Persuasion.
Persuasion.
Yeah.
21.
Jeez, okay, cool. So Austin is going to look at you and he thinks something's going on that's not going on. He's going to look at you with, like, renewed confidence. Because at first he was like, okay, had a really embarrassing interaction where she totally thought I was a geed. And I don't know what that word means, so if it's, like, the F word for bros, then it's
I kind of want to look that up. I don't know what it means either. Geed?
Yeah. I've only seen it be used. It better not be something dirty.
How is it spelled?
This is like when I didn't know that Nicki Minaj tossed people salads meant what it meant. GED, apparently.
GEED?
Yeah, GED. General education degree or something.
Command a horse to go faster. Or encourage someone to work more quickly.
I've seen this derogatory term used. Anyway. Wimp earlier.
Yeah.
and I was totally, cowed by her,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And so now, she sees my power. She sees that I'm in control of all of these,
Yeah.
whatever, and, status. And she respects that. I can tell. I can see it on her face, I like a woman who respects a powerful man. And he's always kind of like, putting a lot of effort into being like, whatever.
Yeah.
He's going to reach out. He's going to take your hand.
Okay.
He has a mask on, like a mask on, not covering his eyes, just his mouth. He's going to pull it down. And he's going to plant a kiss on your hand.
Okay.
And he's going to look up at you from his bowed over position and say, "You know where we will be waiting for you.
Yes, I do.
Don't take too long." And he's going to, as you are having this interaction, the rogues are, encroaching on Lucien's position. The only thing that really made them think twice about it, other than the fact that they couldn't get there yet in their turn because they weren't, and also really homie seemed to be handling his business, so they were like, I don't want to jump in and be like, and I killed him. I was the one who killed him. They were like, I don't, he's really having a moment right now. They're kind of doing and then we'll get him. And then when Austin, he kind of just waves them off. He's going to communicate with all of them in Thieves' Cant. And you can tell that he's saying something to the effect of, our brother has taken retribution for this man's unkind words. Because Uwethwei folks are verbose. And he's going to signal to them that it is time to go, and that to set the hourglass, and that you'll have 5 minutes, according to this hourglass, to get the heck out of there.
Yeah.
Or else.
Yeah.
So that's the dealio.
Okay.
That's going to be the rogue's turn, now that they've freaking cleaned house, pretty much. And now it is going to be Lucien's turn. He's going to use half of his movement to stand up. When he does that...
Can I ask right now, with what Lucien is doing, are the rogues gone now? Because they were like, oh, you got 5 minutes to freaking get out of here.
They are in the process of doing that. So they had kind of come around all of them. They were generally around. They came around kind of swarming around Lucien to be like, get him, good boys, we gotta show him what for, And now that their dad is just like, I might get some later if we leave, but we gotta bounce, as it turns out. And then they're just like, all right, Dad. He's not their dad. You're my father, you're my dad. They're like getting everything prepared, everything is set, and then in that in their next turn, they will both pick up Hibisbos again because they dropped her. The one who dropped his dagger will presumably pick it up, and then they'll start moseying on out of there. So that's your view of their game plan.
Cool.
So yes, Lucien is going to stand up. And the problem is that I don't think he would heal himself. So what he is going to do is he has 15 feet of movement, which is enough for him to get over to Hibisbos. The two rogues that are standing in front of her are like, why did we drop her?
Yeah.
Why did we just do that? He just said drop and then we did it. And so they're kind of just standing, unable to really do anything about it. He is going to grab Hibisbos, and he is going to walk his back up against the wall with her kind of grabbed in his arms. And he is going to take a dagger out of his pocket, and he's going to put it up to her throat.
Okay.
And he's going to say, you're taking us both together. So that's his turn. He has come to terms with the fact that he's not going to kill 200 rogues or you. And so he's going to be smart about it. Cool. So the rogues are the two that were kind of like at her feet and at her head and had dropped her, turn to kind of face him, and they're doing kind of like a rogue position. And as they kind of like move in to get closer, they can see that the knife that Lucien has pressing up against her throat starts to like push into her skin.
Yeah.
They're like, what should we do, boss? And Austin is kind of like comes around the side of the door. He's gonna see Lucien, and he's gonna see Hibisbos asleep in his arms, and him like full feral creature pressed up against the corner of the room. And he's gonna roll his eyes, and he's gonna look at you, because you're in the doorway, so you have full vantage of both of these things going on. He's gonna look at you and say, "Well, I'd say this is your problem now." And he is going to nice and calmly walk through the room. Lucien is like full, like turning my body to face you the whole time. He's going to grab the both unders of the window and wrench it up, and then find out that it's broken because it doesn't move anymore. And he's going to give it a little bit more of okay, I guess it's. Oh, I see it's broken. Huh, well, of course.
You're having trouble?
Happen. No, I only ever get out windows that are half open. And he, like, is gonna take one big, long, lanky elf leg and stick it out the window. Like, he's like, I shouldn't have done. He's gonna, like, unleg and then, like, do both at once and kind of just, like, slide out of the window. You hear, like, the sound of an elf hitting the ground, and then you see just a hand go. He just, like, sticks his arm up and just waves twice at the rogues who are on the other side, who kind of look at his hand, look at each other, look at Lucien, who's like, he like, what are you? I'm ready, whatever it is. They're gonna also kind of like be like, well, I guess we should do what he did, and they're gonna kind of just like printer paper themselves out of the window, like one after another. And you can hear now rogues, like when before there was just like pitter patter all over the place of people doing stuff. That noise with these two rogues leaving has for the most part ended. You hear just the very end of it. The two rogues leave. They slam the window the rest of the way shut, as it was, and then you see a gloved hand tap the glass with a big number 5.
Okay.
On, not a number 5. All 5 things.
Yeah.
5 minutes. He's communicating to you anyway, and then there are no more rogues. They're all gone.
And the window's closed, and
the window's closed.
It's just us two.
It's just you two. And you have you have 5 minutes before the place goes up in flames.
You absolutely made this the hardest thing that I've ever had to do.
What are you talking about?
Look, if I don't do this, I'm dead. So I'm kind of in a pickle here. You see, I don't want to kill you. I don't want to kill anyone. Actually, I don't like it. I don't. That's what I was trying to tell you. I was trying to strike a deal. So I'm going to do that right now because we have 5 minutes before we are all dead. So, if you'll just listen, she has to come with me. I know that you don't want her to come with me, but there is a chance that you might be able to do something about it in the future if they think that you're dead. So, here's what is going to happen. She's going to come with me, and as you saw, I will make sure that she is treated well, because I'm not the aggressive type. I don't like I don't like any of the fanfare that they have going on. So I'm going to make it look like I killed you. I'm going to take something of yours. Usually people say like a finger because I got 10 of them. And that tends to be fine for them to lose one so that I can prove that I've killed you. And I'm not going to do that. because I really don't want to, but I also don't want to die.
You hear, like, he has this dagger in his hand that he has up against your throat, and the whole time you've been talking, he's been bringing it closer just because he's like, frickin' move. And, you know, I want her to think that this is legit, because it is. He's going to kind of spin it around his hand and just stab it into the wall to get you to shut up. Just like, boom.
Yeah.
We're not going anywhere. Let the bloody house burn down.
Mm.
You can die here too.
Yeah. Is that what you really want? Is that what you actually want?
What makes you think I'm going to believe you?
What?
What reason do I have to believe you? You just stood there.
Yeah, because I didn't want to help them.
You didn't want to help me either, apparently.
Let me...
He's going to, like, stand up as he says that. He's got, like, one arm on his stab wound that he has.
Let me reframe this for you. If I made it any sort of indication that I was helping you, I would be dead by now. So, I couldn't do anything like that would put my life at risk.
What are you here to do?
I was hired to take her, I don't know why, and to kill anybody who was here. You just happened to be here.
What do you mean you don't know why? You just kill people for fun or something?
Have you ever heard of an assassin's guild?
Bloody Waypoint Town.
Look,
of course it'd have something like that.
I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to be an assassin, but I don't have time to tell you why I am. So, this is your best bet. If you're alive, you could help her at some point. You just have to make it seem like you're dead. And that's it. I'm great at this. I do this all the time.
Okay, roll persuasion.
Okay. 13.
Okay, so you're kind of like, as you say this, you see him contemplating what you say. You can see it behind his eyes that he's thinking, because he doesn't know, presumably the whole in 5 minutes your house is going to burn down.
Yeah.
Now it's probably about 3.5 minutes.
Yeah.
He has no reason to believe that that isn't true, especially because people just broke into their house and stabbed him in the arm real good. He has no reason to believe that that part isn't true. But all of this, like, she has to come with me, I don't want to kill you, I don't want to be an assassin.
Yeah.
All of that he is sort of weighing against his ability to judge whether or not that is true. He's realizing that he's just going to have to take your word for it.
Yeah.
And he does not do that. And as you kind of see that decision be made, and it kind of clicks in his brain, he's standing up, he's gonna kind of walk towards you a little bit more, kind of stand in between you and Hibisbos and say, why don't you just let us two leave?
Because I can't just take a part of her to prove that I've done anything, because they want her. So, for the sake of me living, unfortunately I have to take her. That's the one part of this that I have no way around.
He's gonna step closer to you so that you're fully like mano a mano.
And he's so much taller than me. I am very much just like, I don't flinch away. I think that Yezi is very like, does not fear death, but wants to live. Like, she is doing this stuff because she wants to live, but if she happens to freaking die or like get hurt, she's like, well, I'm gonna play it until I can't. You know?
When you say what you say to him, he's gonna get all up in your face, and he's gonna cast Hold Person.
Okay.
So choose a humanoid that you see within range. The target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or be paralyzed for the duration, which is 1 minute. At the end of each of its turns, the target can make another wisdom saving throw, and a success, the spell ends on the target. So he's going to try and do it, and it is a wisdom saving throw, so DC 17 wisdom saving.
Okay. Man, the one thing that I'm not good at.
Oh, wisdom?
Yeah.
Oh.
Don't make it 14.
Okay. So, he is going to, during this kind of time as he was getting up and walking over to you, he was reaching into his pocket for this potion that he was looking for, and he flicks the cork off and just splashes it at you. And you can feel your whole body just like seize up.
Okay.
Just pure, like full frozen. And it's the duration is a minute.
Okay.
And so he's going to do that to you. You're going to be stuck right where you are.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to say, well, I hope there's something left of you. He's going to turn and he's going to scoop Hibisbos up in his arms.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to start making it for the front door because he's like, I'm not going to be able to, like, you know, cram you out of a window that's broken. And, like, I could break the window, but I'm not going to waste my arm hurts, all that good stuff. So the frickin' front door, because of the rooms and stuff like that, is more than 30 feet away.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like picks her up and is breaking through the room, also because he's encumbered, his speed is half, so he's 15 feet away. We'll say that, what's a turn, 6 seconds? He is going to make it in the minute that you are frozen. 6 times 15.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 90 feet. So he would be able to make it out the front door. When this happens, you can hear him like pick her up running. You're frozen in the room. You can't do anything. You're just like staring at the wall.
Yeah.
You can't move and there's nothing. And you hear from presumably where he ran the sound of yelling.
Okay.
And general distressedness of presumably Lucien. Who else would it be?
Mm-hmm.
You are staring at the wall, and all you hear is the sound of him yelling, and then all of a sudden that sound goes away, and then you just hear impact. Just like stuff hitting stuff. Just like whatever it is, you have no way of knowing because you're stuck there. And 1 minute passes, so there's about 1 minute left until they had planned on burning the house down. And all of a sudden, you kind of just pop back into whatever it is that you pop back into. You have agency over your body again.
Okay.
What do you do?
I tried so hard. I know that if I just walk out of here, it's going to be so suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to stab myself in the shoulder to be like, I'm injured. But I'm going to make it to where it's like I'm trying to avoid something lethal or something really like, you know, whatever, just so I don't die. Like, I'm not going to stab my jugular, you know? So I'll freaking take damage for that.
Okay. And so he made it to the front door, which is, let's say that's was 30 feet away. He made it there in 2 turns because he was encumbered. And then there were 4 other turns of combat that happened outside of that you were not visible to you.
Okay, so I take 6 points of damage.
Okay.
I'm gonna like just be I wipe the blood off of my knife, put it back, grab it so that it's like I kind of smear the blood a little bit to make it seem like it's worse than it is.
Ooey gooey.
Yeah. And I kind of walk out of there in the injured stance of like I got freaking messed up and walk towards where all that is happening.
Okay. So basically what you gather, so you walk towards, are you just walking or are you like full 30 feet movement running in that
full,
direction? Okay,
yeah,
cool. So as you get to this point. You're running out the front door because that's where he ran out of. And the idea in his mind, because I am him and I'm in charge of that, was just, if we stay here, we will die. They're probably waiting outside for us. I don't know. I don't trust this girl. I don't trust them. If I don't try to run, then I will regret it, because why? I have to, if I give her to you and you turn out to be evil, I will want to die.
Yeah.
If I tried to run away and got caught, at least I know that I wasn't fooled.
Yeah.
So that's kind of his thought process. An insight into his, that for you, Shay, as opposed to you, Yezi. So anyway, so he, that was like sort of the thought process. So as you kind of run outside and you see in the doorway that of the house, because it's standing open, because you're gonna freaking shut the door, as you see in the doorway, there is Lucien alone, and he is got a piece of cloth like tied around his head, like gagging him, like to prevent him from being able to alert the neighbors, perhaps like other folks, that something was going wrong. And so that was presumably what had muffled his screaming.
Yeah.
But basically what else you see is that he is like supremely goofed up at this point. Like someone's got to set off the bomb in the first place. Presumably they had to wait nearby, and basically all the rogues were waiting generally nearby in case you didn't leave.
Yeah.
Because, you have a new boyfriend, but also because, they would need to know that to relay that. Or in case Lucien was able to run out. And so when he did, they ambushed him and just goofed him up real good. And the reason that that they goofed him up real good, other than, the fact that he's goofed up, like he's fully just like a black eye, broken arm affair, is that he is being suspended in air by the thief that is carrying him. It is not Austin. You'll be happy to hear, so you don't have to deal with that anymore. As the thief has him sort of under his arm and is dragging him back into the house.
Okay.
And is like, well, he's gonna burn with the house. We could maybe try to. He might have some tricks up his sleeve or whatever. We don't know. And it looks better if they find his burned body, unthief up, stab wounds did up, like burns and whatever.
Yeah.
And so they're kind of dragging him, like, so that he can be there for him to be evidence.
Yeah.
To an extent, if this is come upon by neighbors or something. Yeah. So he's like dragging him back into the house.
I think I'm gonna say to that person, like, try to just be like, just forget it. He's gonna bleed out and die anyways. It's fine.
Lucien is still like awake.
Yeah.
He's just like not super ready to rumble at this point. And that was your turn, and then it would be his turn now. And he is, we'll say that a health potion of some description would be a potion that you would like, or a health spell, like a clerical spell, would be something that you would have to like get into your mouth to take. And so he's being grappled, and also he's gagged, so he can't like super do anything about it. So he is going to try to become ungrappled. So he's gonna like break free. It was something like they like were able to grapple him and they gagged him, and this was the grapple, this turn was the grapple, and they're gonna like put him back in the house, and so he's able to kind of like muscle back out and like do something about it. So he does that, and he is going to interact with the object, is like try and get this freaking thing that he had shoved in his mouth out of it.
Yeah.
And he is going to use Lesser Restoration on himself, which yay, because get some HP back. Oh, sorry, it's only for condition. So he's going to use Cure Wounds.
Okay.
7 plus 17, so 24. And believe me, he could freaking use it. He's going to, like, the thieves are kind of, like, around him generally while this is going on. Like, they were just like, okay, we got him, we're gonna bring him back inside, and then he, like, rolled freaking 19 athletics and just, like, he saw you and he saw them and just, like, got, like, a second wind of freaking anger. And just, like, stood up and, just, like, ripped this freaking Cure Wounds potion out. And he's, like, you know, tears this freaking thing out of his mouth. He's, like, knife in your direction, knife in their direction, just, like, fully just, like, not sure even who to contend with at this point. And he's not going to say anything because there's nothing for him to say. And the rogues are going to kind of... so that's the end of his turn. The rogues are going to come towards him again. And I'm going to let you be able to stop them if you want to. Okay.
I think I'm going to say,
look, we don't have that much time, and I don't want to be close to the house. So maybe we should all just leave and swallow our pride.
They're going to look at you and kind of... what do you mean by that? Like, what are you trying to get them to do?
We failed. Hopefully he dies based off of everything that you've fucking just done to him, kind of thing. The house is going to explode soon.
Yeah. We
need to get the heck out of here.
So, as though on cue, you hear the sound of fire bombs kind of crackling to life as this happens, and they're starting kind of at the edges of the farm. And the idea behind these is that they're not supposed to explode, like kaboom explosion. The idea behind them, because they were created specifically for this purpose, is just to set a fire.
Okay.
So it's like pouring gas. Well, gasoline would explode. It's like like kindling, or so the equivalent. It's just a fire starter component that is just supposed to be able to like burn itself. So it's not like they're going to try and blow the house up.
Yeah.
They're just trying to make it look like a fire broke out.
Okay.
More or less. So you see the like that kind of happening at the corners of the farm, and it's kind of spreading towards you, and the rogues are look at Lucien, and Lucien kind of looks at them and at you at the same time, and you're all just sort of looking at each other. The rogues that are still there, there's about 5 of them that kind of got the jump on the Lucien, are going to look at you in kind of like a no can do. They're just like, in a failure is not an option, like kind of eyeballs. And they're going to say to you, this is the mission that we were given. And they're going to just start like pushing Lucien into you back into the house. Into me? Yeah, like you are behind him, so you can get out of the way if you can, but if not, you're gonna go back into the house. And that's I will roll for Lucien, and on a nat 20 he can resist it. He got a 3. So he's gonna like, there's 5 and there's 1 of him, and he is injured and has like not enough health about it. And so they're basically going to just like make a big thing, whatever. And this is going on as you can see like fire, breaking out and stuff.
As they push him into me, I think what I want to try to do, and you can let me know if I can do this because it's shenanigansy. I want to try one more time to convince him to just be like, I don't want to fucking kill you. Just please go along with it. Okay. I'm going to wrap my arm around his neck to make it look like I'm just going to snap his neck. And before I do that, whisper in his ear, just fucking pretend you're dead. And try it and like make the motion like I'm snapping his eye. Because like you know how like chiropractor thing you can do that and it's not gonna
I know what you mean. Yeah. Okay, so you say that to him. Cool. Go ahead, roll persuasion with disadvantage. Because he is like pure lizard mode.
Yeah.
Like just
5.
Oh, snap. Okay, cool. So at this point, like, just even hearing your voice makes him more angry. And he sees the fire all around him starting. He feels like just all of these hands trying to muscle him back into the house where that he knows is about to just fully catch on fire. And he is going to have to find some way, hopefully, to escape. There's going to be other, waiting for him elsewhere. Like, they're expecting you to kill him, all this stuff. Because they're, like, they're heck of thieves, but they can't stick around.
Yeah.
So they're just like, okay, the fire will finish the job for us, presumably. Or, that's what has to happen at this point. And, because also, like, he's a cleric.
Yeah.
And if they can't restrain him for long enough, they can't prevent him from healing himself.
Yeah.
And so they, they're pushing him back into the house, and Lucien just sees the red of the fire. You see it reflected in his eyes. And he, pulls out of his, jacket, what you know to be a, fire spell. And the other thing that you know about it is that there is an incendiary bomb at the front door. And so as they start kind of going off and setting each other off, it's like a stick of or like a line of dynamite. It's going to follow a specific path. As it kind of gets to that point, he's going to throw this cantrip at the thieves in front of him.
Yeah.
And at you and at himself. And he's going to try to kill all of you at once.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to freaking uncanny dodge again.
Okay.
Is this area of effect?
I would say yeah.
Okay. Then I'm going to do evasion then instead.
Okay.
Area effect half or no damage, depending on if I
Okay,
save.
half or no damage. Okay. So, the way that it works, kind of, sort of, is like the fire, because I said, like, it's not going to explode like a bomb, like fireworks. It's not going to make a boom. But it is like, it is a flammable substance.
Yeah.
So it's like lighting a match with another match instead of lighting it with friction.
Yeah.
You see it, like, the fire gets really big. So it's something that would, impact the damage of his cantrip. They would kind of compound and get bigger, and it would basically just set off all of the incendiary bombs in that area, and all that implies. So, it's still going to be a DC. We'll say it's a DC. Because now it's everywhere. We'll see. It's a DC 20 dexterity saving throw.
All right.
So yeah, I will roll for them.
I got a 22.
Wow. And we're gonna say because it's no damage made if save. And what are you doing?
Evasion, so I have no damage because I saved instead of taking half damage.
Okay. The rest of them are I'm gonna say because they didn't use any sort of evasion or anything like that because they were so focused on what they were trying to do, which was push him into the thing, that they aren't like thinking about that sort of thing. They're just thinking about we're going to push him back into the house. And so when he uses this cantrip, you save. So the way that we're going to how do you want to describe how did you not take damage from this fire explosion, pretty much?
I see that he's going to do that, and I'm small. I'm like very short, so I think that I see what he's doing, and I'm like, no, I have tried my best, and I'm going to like duck beneath everybody's freaking hands and stuff, and like squeeze on through to just like book it out of there.
Okay. So you're just running away?
Yeah.
Is that what's going on at this point? Okay, cool. So, when you do that, you can feel the, like, heat wave kind of push, like, against your back as you turn and run. Are you able to look behind you at all to see what's going on? Do you want to?
Yeah,
or are you just looking? Or are you just running?
I think I'd be curious.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, you're looking back behind you to see what's happening as you're running. I'm gonna say that will affect your movement speed.
Okay.
That's okay with you?
Yeah.
Okay. So as you do that, you see that with this like fire blasting out, you see that two of the other rogues fully get engulfed in flames, and they're like full screaming, like they're not like, oh, I'm trying to be covert anymore or whatever, because they're fully on fire. And you can see too that Lucien himself is also just like fully on fire, house explosion, whatever. And the damage that they take, you see them both as they are on fire. They both drop to their knees, both of the two rogues that were hit with the fire, and they're full stop, drop, drop, and roll mode. Like just fully, just like let this stop. Like not thinking the house is on fire. Everything's on fire. There's everything is. Anything that isn't on fire right now is going to be in short order.
Yeah.
And they're just like pure panic mode, gonna stop, drop, and roll, like not thinking about it.
Yeah.
And we'll see if Lucien can think of something to do about this. Ha! He's a lucky guy. Lucien has lived around here for a long time, many times been to Tavumile's farm, as we know. And he remembers that the fields are flooded. And you see him just pure, like, desperation. You see, like, him on fire, his clothes on fire, like, his, is starting to, like, get at his actual skin.
Yeah.
And you see him just, like, blow past these two rogues. And as you're kind of running, you see this just before you go over the horizon. You can't see anymore. You see him running in the direction after you, just in your direction.
Okay.
And then right as you go over the hill where you can't see anymore, you hear a splash.
Okay. Oh, God. I think that she thinks, like, hopefully he lived. I really... God, all of the fucking trouble. I don't know how I'm going to explain this.
And that's where we're going to end that scene. So as Yezi goes over the horizon, the behind you, it looks as though you are the one that is causing the rest of the bombs to go off.
Yeah.
And there's just like fires that are breaking out, just crossing the farm behind you.
Did the big guy in charge, freaking Austin, was he there to see any of that?
No.
And did anyone...
Let me put it this way. You didn't see him.
All right. And then can she infer whether or not any of the rogues that were there survived at all?
There were 3, 2 of them caught on fire.
Yeah.
The other 3 took off in your direction.
Okay.
So that is what you... So they weren't going to friggin' hang out.
Yeah.
For mostly, this part was your job.
Yeah.
The killing of him. So if they didn't do it, then they're not going to get... You're the one who's going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, running away. Anything else you want to do, say, anything before we switch gears?
I don't think so.
Okay. So...
All right.
We're going to pop back from this quite dramatic scene of Yezi running away as the fire sweeps over the water clary fields. Stops as it hits the very edge, because this is, farmland, and there is a quite a wide berth from this property to the next.
Yes.
So, and all of the fire bombs were placed strategically such that they would only affect this property in question.
Mm-hmm.
So as you cross out of the property lines, running to the edge of the fields, Yezi, flanked by fire, you reach the end of the field. The fire stays contained within the property lines, and you keep running and leave it all behind you. And as you run, before you made it over the horizon, Lucien could presumably see you. And he could. And he sees you run away. And that image of you running and then just fire in front of his eyes, in front of his face, everywhere he looks, is burned into his mind. And he is staring straight directly in front of him, moving, but not really, not like he is in control of himself. He's just sort of moving, because he knows that that is the direction that you were going in before he started remembering this.
Yeah.
And he's got his hand on his arm, on his shoulder, in that spot where the thief stabbed him. And he's kind of just rubbing it absentmindedly as he just, eyes glazed, just keeps walking. And you're all walking kind of in this group. And go ahead and roll a perception check.
All right. 18.
Wow. Okay, so you see that he is like in Never Never Land, and he's just kind of like staring and just like walking towards the entrance of the ball, like you all are.
Oh, I freaking. Okay, so we're at the ball.
We're not in your. We're starting out where we left off in the last episode,
Okay.
which is you were about to start kind of walking through this sort of grand fountainous.
Who am I right now?
You ready for this? I'll let you be whoever you want.
Okay.
I'll let you be whoever you want. So whoever you want to be.
I'm gonna be Yezi.
Okay. Where is Yezi?
I think that she is dressed up appropriately for the occasion.
Okay.
And is blending into the crowd. Where she's just like kind of going with the motion of the crowd and making it to where she is not noticeable. So she didn't wear anything that like would be like, oh, look at that dress, that's marvelous. But it's like not wearing something where it's like, oh my God, what is she wearing? You know?
Yeah, just the right amount.
Yeah.
I'll say you rolled an 18.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll say that roll counts as your roll for noticing that this person looks extremely distracted and spaced out. But
Okay.
I'm not going to count that as the roll of you knowing that it is Lucien.
Okay.
I'm going to have you make, because he is in disguise, I'll let you, we can do this. What's your perception?
-1.
Before I ask. Your perception is -1?
Yeah.
All right, well, this will be fine then. I will either let you roll with disadvantage,
Okay.
and the DC will be 15, or I'll let you roll straight, but the DC is 20.
I'll roll with disadvantage.
Okay,
13.
thank God. All right.
I rolled a 16, which would have become a 15 and a 12.
It wouldn't have become a 20, so either way, you
Yeah.
know, you didn't miss out on anything. So you happen to just notice everyone's sort of like chatting, you know, dancing, drinking, you know, making jokes, whatever, in your immediate area. Are you within the crowd of the ball then, or are you outside in kind of the entryway?
I'm outside in the bit of the entryway.
Okay, so I'll say that as you are standing there, this group of Fingers, Lucien, Thalen, and Ethiod are walking past you.
Okay.
And as you are standing there, you see them walking past you. You clock that someone in this group, they all look sort of relative to the rest of the cast, the rest of the crowd. They look relatively subdued, except one of them is sort of just a little bit swaying, and so maybe you would interpret that as he's already drunk, something like that. I'm not gonna, but that's the type of thing that would cause that in this setting. But one of them of the group looks extremely out of it.
Okay.
Just like pure staring at a wall and walking forward and rubbing his shoulder.
So, because that catches my attention and they're walking past me, as we know, they were all freaking like talking to each other, whatever, like interacting, etc. For context to the audience, Yezi knows one of them in this group.
She made me agree. She made me agree to this.
Do I hear one of them talking? The particular one?
Right now, because they're all saying like, okay, 1, 2, 3, we're going in.
Yeah.
They're all pretty much focused on the task at hand. Fingers is focused on looking regular.
Yeah.
And I think that his gait and mannerisms are affected such that they wouldn't ping anything on your radar.
Yeah.
But you don't hear anybody saying anything until I'm going to let you roll as Ethiod also, since he's also here to check and see if you can tell if Lucien is spacing out before I give you the answer to your question. Okay. So go ahead and roll perception for Ethiod.
19.
Okay, so as you guys are kind of walking along, you are it goes Thalen, Lucien, Fingers, you.
Yeah.
So you are Fingers is in between you and Lucien. And Lucien, you guys are walking up some kind of like those like shallow fancy steps, you know, up to the front. And you hear just the tip of Lucien's shoe kind of catch on one of the stairs, like he wasn't clocking them.
Yeah.
And he like it doesn't like shake him out of his reverie. Mm-hmm. He just kind of compensates for it and just keeps going up the stairs.
Okay, I think Ethiod is gonna kind of lean into Fingers and be like, "Do you think that he is all right? I think that there's something going on."
Who? What are you talking about?
Lucien.
He's gonna like look over and he's gonna be like, "Hey, are you okay, man?" And like he's just like giving him like a look, and as he says that, Lucien is still just like not like no comprende, lights on, no. Fingers is gonna reach out and kind of like put his hand on his shoulder, and when he does that, Lucien is gonna jump 20 feet in the air. He's just gonna be like, "Oh, what you doing that for?" And then Fingers is like, "Hey, whoa, wait, it's okay, pal, ha ha ha." And Lucien is just like giving him eyeballs, and Fingers is like communicating with his face, like, "Can you freaking chill out, please?"
Yeah.
And Thalen is also like gonna turn and kind of be whatever, and he's gonna be like, "Ha ha ha, that's such a funny joke, man." You know, I think that, you know, sometimes it's best to play it cool in these sort of situations. Yeah, you know, with the ladies, you gotta play it cool there,
you're never
pal.
going to get a girlfrind if you play it that way, right?
Lucien hates this so much, and is just like sinking into himself, like, girlfriend. Anyway, I'm fine. And Fingers is gonna be like, "Good to hear it." And you as Yezi observe this interaction.
Yeah.
And I will let you roll a perception check with advantage to see if you heard you would clock that it was Fingers' voice.
Fingers, or, I mean, because I also talked to Lucien, and he has a specific voice.
That's true.
I don't think I would recognize Lucien's as much as I would recognize Fingers, because I've only ever talked to Lucien once. So I don't know if you want me to roll with advantage for Fingers and then separately for Lucien, or if you just want it to be...
I'll let you I'll let you roll with advantage in general because I think you would have heard Lucien talk sufficiently enough.
Okay, that I would be like,
Yeah, and it just so happened that he yelled,
Yeah.
which you also have heard him do.
Yeah.
So I'll say that you can roll with advantage for both of them.
All right.
And if you get a 10 or higher, you get fingers.
Okay.
And on a 15 or higher, you get Lucien also.
Okay.
That's what
Sweet.
we'll do.
Said 10 or higher
Yeah,
for fingers?
just for fingers, and then 15 or higher for Lucien.
All right. Well, 11 is perception, right?
Yeah.
11 is what I
Okay,
got.
so you hear the dulcet tones of Fingers' voice as his somewhat affected laughter peals from that general direction. As they sort of all have this like they're reasonably far away from you, let's say like 50 feet. So it just sounds like general sounds other than Lucien's, like yell of fear and surprise. So you clock that's going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think Yezi, she's fully like, well, he's not that here, so I might as well go inside because I'm gonna enjoy myself if I have to be here and do this, but whatever. And like she's planning on going inside, and then she hears Finger's voice, and she's like, what?
Oh yeah.
Like,
just disarmed.
yeah, like wait, why is he what? And like is gonna go walk towards him to like like what she wants to do, because she sees that he's with a group of people, is to just be like grab and pull into crowd to be like like
I know
when like suddenly your friend disappears at a party and you're like, where the heck?
Yeah.
I want that to happen.
And you look over in the corner and Yezi and Fingers are making out. I'm just like, well, this is not part of the plan. Okay, cool. So it's going to take you a little bit to get there because 30 movement speed is you're running.
Yeah.
Unless you want to fully run and be extremely conspicuous, it's going to take you a minute to get there. Also because they are walking away from you.
Yeah.
I would imagine you'd be walking faster towards them than they are away from you. But so while that's going on, the group of 4 are walking, they're kind of approaching, and what you see in front of you as Ethiad is Uwethwei soldiers on duty in front of the main entryway, and it's all done up like beautiful flowers, just like lavender spilling over, bouquets of flowers everywhere. There's like water features that are like built into the natural waterway of the city.
Yeah.
But they're even more like done up and grand, and there's like guests everywhere and everything. There are Uwethwei soldiers on duty ostensibly as bouncers.
Yeah.
So they are Uwethwei soldiers, but their job is to tonight bounce
Yeah.
with it. And all that implies, and you will find out what that implies if you incur their wrath. So as you're kind of walking in that direction, Thalen is going to, under his breath, say, "So what are your names?"
Our names? What are you talking about?
Oh my goodness. Of course, I thought we were on the same page. And Lucien is going to go, Bradley.
Bradley, that's the best that you can come up with.
Will you have something better?
I don't know. I mean, like, Bradley is such a, I don't know, human name.
We don't have much time, so you're going to have to come up with
Alistair.
Alistair.
Yeah, why not?
I bloody hate that name. And Fingers is going to go, Daniel.
Daniel. That's even more human than what? Bradley. Oh my god.
What's wrong with Daniel?
You don't look human at all.
My mom's son's named Daniel. Not me. Different son. His name is Daniel. It's not a weird name. Don't be like that. Okay, so you're Daniel, and you're, what was it, Alistair? You've quite a, I don't mind me saying so. This is all things that, as you approach, Yezi, you could be catching little pieces of.
Okay.
But it's sort of in the hiding in plain sight department of like, there are so many freaking people that unless they're all freaking, whatever. The only reason you guys can hear each other is because your heads are freaking inches
so
apart
close
from each other. Like, there's no way anyone's gonna be hearing you. But just in case, there's no way, at least in your perception, that anybody's hearing this conversation.
Okay.
And so Thalen is gonna continue. And he's gonna be you don't mind me saying so, but you have quite a particular voice there, Alistair.
To Lucien? Okay.
Yeah, he's talking to Lucien. He's like, you've quite a particular voice there, Alistair.
Can you change it up at all? I mean, like just a little bit.
I'm not good at this. I'm not good at any of this. Is he good at this? What's his performance? It's based on his charisma. He's not good at any of this. I don't know. Was it copy one of you lot or something?
I mean, you could sound like me.
This might get even worse.
No.
Fingers is gonna put his arm around you and just give you like a little head rub and be like, he's right,
I think he's gonna snap his head over to him and just kind of grumpy eyes.
Listen, you gotta,
what?
Maybe try and sound like me, okay? You get to sound like me.
I'll try and sound like you.
There, you already sound better. Okay, what about, Alistair? Al? Can I call you? No, Alistair. Full name, please. Hello, my name is Alistair. You sound exactly the same. What if you tried to copy my voice? Under no circumstance am I going to sound like a bloody high elf. Okay, well, let's not call them that right now because you're surrounded by bloody high elves. So Yezi, you can pop in at any moment if you want to.
Where is Finger standing in relation to everyone? Is he in the back? Is he in the front?
They're in a row. They're in like a semicircle row.
As they're trying to figure this out, I kind of want Yezi is going to try to just like grab the what is it freaking his sleeve, like the little opening of his sleeve, and just kind of gently pull him back. Yeah, but she wants to do it in a way where it's like nobody notices.
Okay,
and
I will say,
scoop your boy.
Ethiod and Lucien are flanking Fingers.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna make this a disadvantage sleight of hand roll, and the DC is 20.
Okay. 22.
Oh snap! Okay, cool. So I'm gonna say that this is the situation. Thalen, so mix their names together. Thalen's go, repeat after me. The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain.
The rain in
Spain falls mainly. This isn't work. You're like so focused on Lucien's dialect class that you don't notice. And Fingers is like gonna like open his mouth to also do it, but in his own voice, presumably. When he feels the hand grab the corner of his sleeve.
Yeah.
And he opens his mouth to say something, and then that happens, and then his single brain cell gets fully distracted by that happening.
Yeah.
And just sort of like you pull him back towards you with his mouth open. Like he's just like, and then he's just like walking backwards all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And Ethiod is so, I'll make you roll for it. What'd you get? 22 sleight of hand?
Yeah.
I'll make you roll Ethiod's perception. Well, what's his passive perception? Because he's not trying to perceive.
11.
Okay, so he's fully
double
just,
my
like,
passive perception.
He's like pushing Fingers out of the way so that
to
he
be
can
like, wait, let me hear this.
I want to hear the plosives in this. And so you kind of pulled Fingers away from this semicircle, and he is just sort of letting this happen. Because
Yeah.
he's like, maybe this is supposed to happen. And I'm supposed to... This was part of the plan that I wasn't paying attention to.
Yeah.
And he's just going to kind of step back and, like, wait for whatever. As the group group of 3 moves slowly forward. Spain.
Spain.
Oh my goodness, you passed the first grade. All you have to do is copy what I'm saying. I'm going to have a mental breakdown. You're going to have a mental... Stop bloody talking! Anyway, that is moving forward. And Fingers is just like,
Are you going to turn around?
Yes. Yo. Maybe?
Turn around.
Will you...
Oh my god.
And she's gonna like grab his shoulders and spin him around.
Whoa. And when you do that, he's gonna like stumble just a little bit.
Yeah.
Because he's like a little...
You alright? Are you...
Oh, yeah. When you get your... I'm fine.
Right. And I don't think that Yezi would have seen him without a mask on.
Mm-hmm.
But she's like very familiar with her voice. She's gonna be like, hold on. And she's going to put 2 fingers up or like 2 hands in front of her eyes and like block out the parts of his face that she wouldn't have seen and be like, say something.
Something.
Okay, it's you. The fingers.
Wait a minute. He's gonna get right up in your face.
Hmm?
He's gonna put his hands over his face where you typically wear a mask.
Yeah. Fully.
And he's gonna go, what are you doing here there, pal?
I mean, what are you doing here? I know that you would not be attending the ball.
Oh, just general, thief stuff. Just, thieving.
Well, just general assassin stuff, you know.
I don't like that. Well, if you, excuse me, I have to catch up.
No,
He's gonna turn to kind of go, but
and she's gonna like grab his wrist and pull him further away. A little bit.
Kind of what's this about?
I don't know. I just want to talk to you. I'm very surprised that you're here and not wearing your mask. And might I say, I knew that you had a good voice, but I didn't know you also had a face like that.
Okay, well, listen, I really gotta... Listen, it's already, I'm a little late,
For what?
For tonight. So I gotta kind of...
I'm curious. Look, I don't actually... I'm here for,
And she, air quotes,
assassin business. But, I don't actually like doing my job. So, I'm more interested in whatever this is. I don't care. I just say that the person wasn't here.
Okay, roll perception for Ethiod to see if he notices that Finger's been gone for a minute.
And then also... when I don't have that freaking mask on, the whole half of the whole part where that mask was covering is pure opal, opal stone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like, when a rock is chipped and then you see quartz underneath it or something, it looks like that.
Uh-huh.
And that's why she's like, this is way too identifiable.
Yeah, I feel like she would be, There's no way that Fingers is I don't know who this is.
7 for Ethiod.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, okay. So, you're in doo-doo brainville. You're just
Yeah.
You've been full idiot ball from SpongeBob, just drooling and whatever. And then Thalen is gonna go, okay, Fingers, now you try it. Daniel, and Lucien is gonna be like, Daniel, where are you, Daniel? You stop. You hit
Daniel, Crisis is very bad.
You sound like you're having a stroke, but the same stroke as each other. Hold on. Just follow me, and he's gonna like
Right.
grab your hands in an extremely non-masculine way, and Lucien is gonna be like, bro. He's like he's not even looking for fingers. He's looking at Thalen's hand grabbing his
Yeah,
hand.
and I think Ethiod is fully just like, yes, this is fine. I need to find Fingers,
Yeah,
my one and only
Lucien
friend.
it doesn't even care that Fingers is gone. He's just like, this freaking guy. He also noticed that the Thalen on purpose grabbed the hand of his uninjured arm,
Oh.
and he was just like, I hate it more now.
It was thoughtful.
It was thoughtful. That's disgusting. And so now they're looking for Fingers. So his time has become. You have like one good chunky sentence before they are on y'all's position.
Yeah. Look, I'm here because I have to find somebody that I was supposed to kill, and I've really tried not to kill them, but they made it really hard. So I'm going to try again to not kill them because I just really don't want to do this. But I'm more interested in what you're doing. I honestly doubt that they would be stupid enough to be here.
You could see on Finger's face before you said this that he was weighing sort of the options of telling you and having you be able to help him look for Tavumile.
Yeah.
You know, letting you in on the group. You have like really good mobility around the area. No one, presumably, as far as he knows, would like have it out for you, think that this was suspicious that you were looking, or as opposed to like, why is Thalen? Why is, who's this guy with leprosy here? Like, what's going on? And the moment you say that, you can see all of that just completely evaporate. And his face just becomes like fully expressionless. And he's gonna be like, listen,
Right.
Where I hear those type of guys hang out, type of people hang out, where I hear they hang out, he's probably like, not here.
Right.
So
I can spend more time with you.
Ooh. Well, listen, I gotta go to the little boy's room, so you're gonna have to let me do that by myself. Please.
Fine.
And as he kind of like says that, he's gonna like look over his shoulder because he hears Daniel. Daniel, as like Thalen is withering away, hearing you and like his like stupid children trying their best. And he's like, yep. Me and all of my boys need to use the bathroom at the same you know how us boys
I'm sure that you do.
like to use the same
Will I be able to
the bathroom at the same
see you later tonight, perhaps? After the ball? Whatever you're here doing.
What
What a noise that is.
Probably
Yeah.
not.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Anyway, gonna go by, and he is gonna like about face and just like walk off in a direction that isn't towards Thalen, Ethiod, and Lucien.
Okay.
Like he's gonna try and be like, I don't know those guys. They're looking for some guy named Daniel. That's not me. And he's just gonna walk off. Like if they're on the left, he's just walking to the right. So what is Yezi gonna do?
I think that she's fully just like, I'll just say that he wasn't here because this is so much more interesting than any of what I am hired to do. And she's gonna like watch him, like just sneak around and follow him because she's like, I know that he hates this, but that makes it so much more fun.
Okay. Because all you are doing is trying to follow Fingers, I will let you roll this with advantage, but Fingers is going to stealth.
Okay.
Because he's trying to not look. He's trying to have you lose his position.
Yeah. 13.
You blink and Fingers is gone. You rolled a 24.
He's always very good at that.
And he is, as far as what would Yezi like to do now?
I think that she's gonna just sigh and roll her eyes, be like, God, that's his one issue. He's no fun. And then just make her way inside.
Okay. Lucien, Thalen, and Ethiad are still Lucien and Ethiad have been told that if they open their mouth, Thalen will find a way to kill them, despite him being level 1. And he's saying, Daniel, where are you? Oh goodness, where do you think he would even be?
I don't know. I don't even know why he walked
You're a
off.
thief, aren't you? What's your
What
name?
do you...
What was your name? Oh
I
goodness.
don't... It's trailer. I don't know.
No, we're not doing that. Pick another name. Anything that isn't that.
You choose it then.
Paul.
Absolutely not.
Oh my gosh, isn't that what it's about? Just pick a bloody name. I know that I said no to the first one, but whatever.
Traslier.
I'm not going to be able to remember that.
Traslier. That's such a common name where I'm from.
Exactly, where you're from. You have to be from somewhere else, right? That's why we... Anyway.
Evertine.
Archibald. Archie. I like it. Okay, that's what we're doing. Alistair, Archie, and Daniel. You can tell it's him because he's wearing white Vans. Anyway, okay. Well, you're a thief, aren't you? Can't you,
What?
I don't know.
Communicate with him telepathically.
Don't you have that language? You said you could talk to him from far away.
Fine. And then he's gonna it's kind of... what I would have to do is you can't see me, so I can't just signal to him. I'd have to make some kind of sound. It might look like I'm fucking losing it.
Okay, well, we'll just assume
just stand in front of... come here. And he's gonna, take them and...
Listen, do you need a noise that will sort of cover it up?
Not loud enough that he won't hear what I'm doing, but just...
Listen,
what?
I got you.
Right.
Do it.
And what Ethiad is going to do is a series of claps. That's essentially just where the fuck are you?
Morse code type affair. Okay, so as you do that, I like to play fast and loose with the thieves' can't rules. I like the idea that you can use anything at your disposal to try and communicate from a distance.
Yeah.
And that includes sound because yeah. So that's what we're doing. And while you do this series of claps, 1 decibel lower, Lucien is going to bury his head in his arm, and he's just gonna and to the point that people turn to look.
Does Yezi turn to look?
I don't know. Does she's walking her way in. I think it was let's say that you would be able to contact somebody within a 30-foot radius.
Okay.
Which is, so it's that loud. But it would be something Fingers would have to roll a perception check to see if he heard it. So it's reasonably quiet. It would just be because it's a piercing noise.
Yeah.
It's more about it has to carry, but it also has to stick out enough.
Okay.
Whereas the fart noise is, I would say you would probably hear that 15-foot radius fart noise. I think that
because the only thing too is that Yezi speaks thieves' cant.
Oh, that's true. Well, this is what we'll do. Fingers is definitely within 30 feet, so he's going to get an advantage to this roll. I'm going to say that Yezi is outside of this 30-foot radius just because she was they were sort of walking towards me. If they were walking backwards, and she was walking towards the entryway.
Yeah.
So I'm going to roll Fingers with advantage. We'll make the DC 10. Okay, he makes it. He doesn't need to roll advantage. He makes it both times.
Yeah.
And he is gonna he heard, which you will find out shortly. So Yezi, I'll have you roll with disadvantage.
All right. Don't get it.
Okay, so Yezi keeps moving, and then Thalen is gonna be like, "What on earth was that about?"
What?
What you said? He said he needed something to cover it up. Was that not more noteworthy than the sudden clapping?
Whatever.
Look.
No.
Listen, I don't think. At least it wasn't, a language. It wasn't words or something.
At least anyone who else speaks thieves can't. Maybe they didn't hear. I don't know. I mean, like, who knows what's in this crowd?
Exactly. You never know. And when you say that, who knows what else is in this crowd? You are going to roll a perception check.
All right. 8.
As Ethiad?
Yeah.
Okay. You are kind of like looking out into the crowd just to be like, who knows, whatever. And then you just like look back and continue the conversation. And that's when Fingers rocks up. And he like kind of just like pushes his way through the crowd. He's just like, oh, excuse me, ma'am, I'm sorry.
Jesus.
You have a lovely dress. That's beautiful. Anyway.
Fingers, where the fuck did you go?
I'm sorry, there's this, well, you see,
What?
I know, listen, on the plus side, I know something now that I didn't before. On the minus side, you know what, Lucien?
What?
Alistair. I think that we've really made great strides in our friendship. I just think I really want to I want you to bring it in right now. And Lucian's like, bring what in? Just like, put it there, pal.
A group hug?
Yeah, just, I just think it would be a really good idea if we did a group hug right now. Just to affirm our friendship.
Ethiad puts both like arms around everyone else and brings it into.
Thalen, I don't know if this. Okay. No.
This is happening. This is happening. Use your brain.
It's not. But
Use your brain. Use your brain.
okay, he's gonna try and use his brain. It freaking doesn't work. Lucien is gonna step back out. He's gonna be like, "If you lost your minds."
Listen.
Thalen. We'll see if Thalen has a brain. Thalen also doesn't have a brain, and they're just gonna be like, I think I will refrain and.
God, this is what we get for not working with other thieves. They just don't get it.
Thank you, gosh. Anyway, so I guess I gotta do this. He's gonna take a step forward. He's gonna plant a kiss on Lucian's cheek. And when he does that,
I think Ethiad sees it, he's like,
yeah.
I actually did not know anything about this.
He's just gonna fully take a step forward. I'll let it is so. This is gonna be Fingers slide a hand roll, and he gets a +9. He can say nat 20. These are some good nat 20s, dude. That is a 29 for sleight of hand roll. Lucien rolled a 13. So he is powerless. And Fingers is going to step forward. It's like you didn't even see him step. It was like he always was standing there right next to Lucien with his lips pressed gently against his cheek. Lucien is like, it is like in an anime when the guy is like, staring at the bad guy, and then it's just like a flash, and then the bad guy is right next to you with like a sword in your chest.
Yeah.
It's that, except there's the mouth of another man, like a nano inch away from his cheek.
Yeah.
And he's like, Fingers, I'll kill you later. You won't get the chance to because you're gonna freaking die.
What the fuck?
You're close enough to like pick up on that at like just a whisper.
Fingers, that is so fucking ominous. What are you talking about?
Oh, you want one too? There's an assassin here, and I know her, and we got a problem. I think she's here to kill our buddy.
Wait, why do you know her? Why do you know her?
That's like not important right now. So, what do you say we go into the ball to go enjoy ourselves? Well,
what do you know anything about an assassin, Lucien? What the fuck are you? What is this?
Lucien is like putting, like the doing the 1 + 1 = 2 in his brain, and he's like, it's not. It's 1 + 1 is not equal 2. Why would 1 + 1 = 2? That's never been a thing. I've never seen a time when 1 + 1 = 2. It's not that. It's not happening. Look.
What?
What she look like? And Fingers is gonna, Lucien is, like, leaning into, like, whisper, and Fingers is gonna, like, do another, like, mouth to cheek and be like, like, rocks. Yeah, like, rocks. Like, she looks like rocks. You don't remember that by any chance. Okay, I must be missing something here. It seems like you all are having a lovely time.
Thalen, and he, like, pulls his head close, and he's just like, there's an assassin. Who's here for Lucien? We need to cool it for a second.
Oh. Well, listen, I can go inside and see if our friend is there. If you all want to, and Lucien's gonna turn and be like, I'm absolutely going into, listen, it'll be what's gonna be. We gotta go in.
Why do you know why do you ask what she looks like?
Because I saw her face. It was only, a couple of inches away from mine. He saw unless this isn't true, which you can totally tell me, he saw enough to know that there was a rock quality to the way that she looked. Her face was only bloody inches away from mine.
And you're not dead? Why did...
It's a long story. Do you remember? Anyway, the point is this. We just gotta go in. We gotta find her. I mean, let's just go. And he's gonna, like, peel away from the group and just start walking to the front door. And Fingers is gonna be like, well, if, he thinks this is probably fine, let's just go.
Fingers. And, like, I will walk towards Lucien, but I'm gonna, like, grab Fingers to be, like, lag behind a little bit, and to be like, what do you know about this person? Is she, like, good at what she does?
He's gonna put his arm, like, kind of around your shoulder, but, like, under one arm so that he can, like, get down to your, level.
Yeah.
And Thalen is gonna just be like, I'm really sort of, okay, we go. Okay, sounds good. And Fingers gonna be like, listen, pal. Yeah, she's really good at her job, but she didn't really like it. Okay, you know at least kind of secondhand what that's about. So
what?
We might like have a friggin' we might have a chance of getting out of here without too much. At least in that department.
What do you mean that she doesn't like it?
Listen, it'll kill me.
Mm-hmm.
It'll kill me. And he's like, his cheek is just resting against your whole eyeball. It'll kill me, but I think I can distract her.
What? Why do you think that?
Because I'm a demure...
You're a what?
Demure man.
What does that mean?
I'm like sensual or something.
What are you talking about? And he like kind of gets
Gross,
his like he's like, your face is on my face and you're saying
this.
Fingers
is like melting at this point. He's like, I'm sensual and I'm attractive and
what? I wouldn't go that far.
Listen, I just give me like I'll just like listen, I'll find her and the problem will fix itself. Let's just go in, and so he's gonna like part fully from you, so now Lucien is kind of leading the pack back towards the door. Thalen is kind of doing like the little guy hops, skips, and you guys, Fingers does not want to go to the ball anymore, and is radiating that from every pore, and Ethiod is also there. Ethiod is like okay.
What is happening?
Go ahead and roll Ethiod perception check.
All right. 15.
Ethiod he sees something out of the corner of his eye. You can turn to look if you want, or if you just want to keep going, you turn to look. Okay, cool. So when you turn to look, you see someone signing to you in Thieves' Cant. You're late.
Oh shit. Okay. Uh,
And
what-
then the person who was signing you in Thieves' Cant disappears. They're gone.
fingers.
What is it?
Think-
What is it? What is it? What
somebody
else? What
just-
could possibly be else?
Somebody just signed me in Thieves Cant that were late.
Yeah, I'm sure they're mad. Listen, it's fine.
Is
We'll
this
deal
part
with
of
it
the
later.
Thieves Guild? What are we supposed to be doing here?
Stealing. Listen, they're more
There
pressing
is,
matters.
but I also don't want to get kicked out of the only place that I have at home.
Look, they're not gonna kick us out. No one's gonna friggin'. Will you chill out?
I don't know
Stop.
what's happening.
It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Listen, Daddy Papa Fingers
Oh God.
will help you to succeed.
Oh right.
I just have to throw my principles out the window for the next several hours, and then we can go
right.
back to being as thick as thieves. Anyway, and he's gonna like push away from you. You guys are gonna keep walking up in that direction unless
Yeah.
you have a compunction about that.
No.
You get to the bouncers, who are looking at your sort of flying V. I have to pull my pants up legs.
Oh.
They're like
I was
bothering
like,
me.
how are they falling
They're
out?
falling down because of D&Ding too hard. He's gonna so you walk up to the door and you get to that kind of the entryway, and then the look like, like head down. I'm just gonna walk in. There's a lot of people. Probably
Yeah.
nobody will care. I don't know how the system works anyway. I can always plead ignorance.
Yeah.
Lucien is just gonna kind of just be stepping like he's gonna do that.
Yeah.
And let's see, the Soldier's Notice.
And I'm gonna just whisper again, like under my breath, right before we do that, just being like, confidence, confidence. Do it with confidence.
Confidence. So Lucien is going to be just full, like head down, walking through. He manages to catch a big crowd of people, and because he was in front, he is kind of swept away in the crowd. He's able to make it through without any kind of being stopped.
Okay.
So Thalen is next. He's gonna stealth.
Thalen? The one person that could be there?
What do you think he rolled?
Nat one.
He rolled a nat 20. What's going on? The guards, as a perception check, rolled a 2. So,
Holy shit.
Thalen is gonna look at you and a wink and just disappear. Like,
the-
he is going to, like, find a group of fancy boys and just step on in there and just fully become one of them. Like, you see them all, it's a group of men of about his size and
Yeah.
stature and dress and hair color and race and all the above, saying, oh, well, yes, with the lace on the gown was just simply divine. Oh, yes, it was hand-woven in those buttonholes. Can you believe it? And he just disappears. It looks like a million Thalens are walking in
Frigging
at once.
Ethiad, like, grabs me. He's like, maybe we should have him be part of the Thieves Guild. That was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I don't know if I could. Well, here goes nothing. And you're next.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
All right. I'm walking with so much confidence.
With confidence comes great confidence.
What is this?
Stealth.
Okay.
You're good at that. Or if you want to do another roll,
22.
you can, but I figured, okay, so
No, I don't want to do another one.
let's see what the guards rolled. They rolled a 13. So
Right. I have like hands in pockets, head up, just looking around, just being like, yeah, I'm supposed to be here.
yeah, they don't see you either. I really didn't think this was gonna happen. I was just like, they're probably gonna get Lucien. They'll probably get Thalen. Freaking nope.
They're gonna get fingers out of all
They're
people.
gonna get fingers. Well, the problem is that I'm gonna have him roll this stealth check with disadvantage because
What?
he is emotionally.
Oh no!
He's not ready for this jelly. So you might have to save your boy. Cool. All right. I mean, it's a +9.
Yeah. Jeez, oh no.
I see him. I want you to know. I actually forgot to roll with disadvantage, so that was his highest roll that he could have gotten.
no.
Yeah. So they fully see him. He could have only done worse than that. It would have been that or worse.
Oh no.
They fully see him. So, well, let me just tell you what that means.
Yeah.
So he's gonna just like just go fixing to be walking behind someone and trying, but his heart isn't in it, and he knows that, and he's not really even able to compensate for it because he's radiating this just like, wow, I'm really vibe of just like, what am I gonna do? Because I think part of him, there's this sort of internal conflict of like, I am, I'm gonna do this thing, but there's this other thing that's just like, she's a person.
Yeah.
I'm a person. I don't want to do this to somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's also that component where he's just like, I don't play this game.
Yeah.
I play a different game, and I'm good at it, and I'm not good at this. So he's just sort of radiating that as he walks in. And you, Ethiod, you were the last one through. We'll see, actually, if Thalen or Fingers. I'll do Thalen first. Wow, okay. It was a 15 DC for Thalen to realize that Fingers didn't make it through, and a 20 DC for Lucien, and they both hit it.
Oh, shit.
They both noticed that he wasn't able to make it through. So go ahead and roll yours. It'll be 10 for you.
All right. 16.
Okay, so you all notice that Fingers doesn't go through.
Okay.
So, as Fingers is kind of making his way in that direction, you just hear a soldier go, "Oh, sir, excuse me, sir. Yes, yes, with the hat and the face, like describing what he was wearing. Yes, you. What seems to be the problem? Is everything okay? Oh, yes, sir. We just need to know what your name is."
I'm gonna, as Ethiod, I'm gonna be close by and then see if there. I'm going to go and grab his arm and be like, "Dude, we are already so late. We need to be here to be serving drinks. I don't want this job to fall through our fingers. This is the first one that we've had for such a long time. Hi, officer. Sorry.
Sorry. So we're just gonna have to go through in the. You'll be able to see my name on the
freaking
on the thing. We gotta go.
God.
So we're gonna roll a persuasion. Go ahead and
Okay.
roll, and we'll take the higher of 2 rolls. What'd you get, pal?
That one.
Okay. Well, Fingers got an 8, so you guys are screwed. The soldier's gonna be like, okay, well, we still do need to know, it looks actually as though we didn't get your name as well. Excuse me, talking to you, Ethiod. So what were both of your names? Do not...
Archie.
Archie, is that
Yes.
short for something?
Archibald.
Okay, and your last name?
I don't have one.
What do you mean you don't have one?
It's just, I don't have one. I don't know. I just don't have one.
Okay, interesting. Well, and you, sir, Daniel, with 2 A's. It's a long A sound. Daniel. No, Daniel. There you go. Yeah,
It's really particular, but look, we're going to be late to our job.
That's-
We already are.
They're like, okay, but give me 1 moment, please. And the last name, Squindipliopis?
Freaking Ethiod is biting the inside of his mouth like, are you fucking kidding me? This is...
Oh, and excuse me, Squindipliopis? Everybody always laughs when they hear it.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous last name, Daniel.
Squindip. He doesn't laugh, but I cannot. OPSIS.
Can we go now, please?
There you go, okay.
We're late, please.
Oh, yes, and gentlemen, just if you just follow the signs, you have a coat closet, you can check your hats for the evening.
All right, thank you. Come on, dude. And I yank him into the crowd.
Okay. So you do that. You kind of pull him off in that direction. What was that, dude?
You had no confidence. You had 0 confidence.
I'm sorry.
You be more confident.
Forgive me.
No. Yes.
Okay.
No. Maybe.
What was that about?
He had no confidence.
Squindibliosis.
No.
Squindibliosis. What
Forget
did I
that
tell him my
name.
name was? What if I need it again?
Daniel Squintipliopolis, stupid ass
Daniel
name.
Squintipliopolis. I'm foreign. I'm from somewhere else where that's a regular name.
You're such a dumbass. You're so stupid.
I couldn't think of anything else.
You
than
couldn't
that.
think of a single name that you've heard in your entire life.
No,
Why couldn't you use your real name? It's not like anybody knows it.
because
Because
I'm
that would be too smart, wouldn't
What are
it?
you bloody doing? Can you hurry up and get in?
Fine.
Lucien is like far and
Mm-hmm.
whisper, like stage whispering. You walk into this grand foyer, people sitting down, beautiful marble floors, flower arrangements, the whole shebang. There's a few more guards that are just kind of around, like,
Yeah.
shift change, all that good stuff, just milling about as you do when you're a guard skating. And
Skating.
they through that kind of area, there's like a sitting area, tables kind of underneath this overhang, and you can see the grand ballroom, just like the tiny beginnings of it as you go through this foyer. And there's heck of folks all over the place. Go ahead and roll a perception check. I'm gonna roll 28 perception checks.
Unnatural 20.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
God, thank God for that. Actually, that's not true. I only have to roll one perception check for these folks.
Yeah.
And your perception check actually doesn't count because you don't know who this person is, so it wouldn't be of note to you. Unfortunately, the only one who does rolled the DC was 12, and he rolled a 6, and he gets a +4, and it doesn't make it 12, as it turns out. And
Because he is trying to find her, or like perceive her, does Yezi, because she's in there now, and I feel like what Yezi would have done is like go up to a balcony and just hang it. She probably has like a drink that's like freaking a fancy little fruity drink in a little cocktail glass, and she's just up in a balcony like leaning over it and just generally scanning over the people, being like, I mean, if he does happen to be here, then I'll be
Yezi
able
also
to
doesn't
see
know who
him
this
here."
person is.
Fingers?
Yeah, no, Yezi doesn't know who the person that I'm rolling the
Oh shit!
perception check.
I see.
Yeah, it's only one person who does. Before you can make it kind of past this threshold area, you hear in a voice that sounds familiar yet different. Say, Thalen. And you see Thalen, boy wonder, fully just freeze and tense up. He was walking behind Lucien and in front of you and Fingers. So you guys are kind of like a little triangle.
Yeah.
And Lucien is out in front. Thalen is just going to fully freeze and look out of the corner of his eye to the place where the sound was coming from.
Is there people around that are like, you know how when at parties people have like trays of drinks and stuff?
Yeah.
Are there people around like that?
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Can
Like cocktail weenies and stuff.
what's the likelihood that somebody's near Ethiod right now with some drinks?
Let's roll a luck check.
All right.
We'll say it's there's two folks in that area just because it's like just the foyer, but it's like near where there are tables.
Okay.
So we'll say it's like 10.
Okay.
So 10 or lower, there's a person. Higher, there's not. There's nobody around.
All right.
Okay. Do you want to do anything before what happens next?
I do want to try, because the whole plan was like Ethiod was going to take care of Galen to make it be like, he's like, I am failing miserably right now. So I think what he's going to do is like pretend like he's walking, like he just switches directions, like he's going to walk just generally in the direction where that guy is yelling and trip and fall into him and be like, I'm so sorry, and like try to get him distracted enough to let Thalen disappear within the crowd.
I love it. Okay, so Thalen is like fully tenses up, and as he does that, Galen is going to start walking towards him. And there's enough people and enough whatever in the way that in order to have a spoken conversation as opposed to a 20 decibel conversation, you would have to get reasonably close.
Yeah.
So you have that time to like pop out of nowhere and run into him.
Yeah.
So go ahead, roll stealth, just
Okay.
so Galen's not like, what the heck is this guy walking towards me for?
21.
Okay, so you're fully disappearing in the crowd.
And I also like, because I have to pass by Thalen, I assume for this, I just kind of lightly say like, just disappear, like, you know, just as like a, you're gonna see something that happens and just follow what I just said.
Okay, so Thalen is going to pretend as though he didn't hear Galen.
Okay.
And is going to, he froze for a second, which was pretty damning,
Yeah.
but he's going to now get a kind of second wind
Yeah.
and then try and make something of this after all. Like maybe he just happened to stop at the same time.
Yeah.
He's gonna try and pretend like he didn't hear Galen's voice, and as he goes to kind of like walk away, he just stumbles just a little bit. Like his brain and feet hadn't communicated well enough that that's what he was gonna do.
Yeah.
And so it's just a little bit not graceful, and he goes off in a similar trajectory, but not the same one that he was before, because before he was following Lucien, and now he's just like, just in case, I'm gonna go somewhere where Lucien isn't.
Yeah.
Just so that's the thing. So as he does that, Galen's walking towards him, and you are going to
Run into him.
Yeah. Cool. Roll a strength check. Or athletics.
5.
Okay, we'll oppose it. You said 5?
Yeah.
Galen rolled a 4.
Oh my god, are you serious? I was like, there's no absolute
Me too.
way.
It was funny because the first roll was a 5, and I was like, I think he gets a -1. And then this, I was just like, it was so cocked though. I don't like that. And I rolled again. It was 4. So he, as you are not, you're like a tall guy, but you're like a lanky guy.
Yeah.
So you're like a paperweight. You're like, well, that's a bad way to put it. You don't weigh a lot. Ha
Yeah.
ha. But the thing is that Galen's an old man, and so when you kind of bump into him, what is your like trajectory? Like, what's the idea behind the way this is about to be?
Like, I'm so distracted that I don't realize that I shoulder check him, but also my leg goes in between his legs, so it trips him up a little bit.
So you're trying to knock him over.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
To be like, I'm so sorry. Oh my god.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so you fully do. You
Yeah.
beat his freaking opposed thing. And so when you go to do this and you fully just, like, stick this stick in the spokes of the bicycle, he fully falls, like, forward, and he goes to catch himself with a leg that is trapped behind one of your legs.
Yeah.
And he catches himself on his, like, forearms and
Yeah.
elbows and just goes, ew! You know, general old man
Yeah.
distress noises. Ew, I say!
I'm so sorry.
What on earth are you doing?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Let me buy you a drink or something to make up for this. I'm
I think
so sorry.
you've done enough. And he's gonna like get old man like up to his feet.
Yeah.
He's gonna be like, what on earth do you think you're doing?
Ethia's gonna like brush him off a little
He's
bit,
just
like
straighten the
yeah,
bow tie.
Yeah. I'm so sorry.
Don't touch me. Get your filthy hands off of me. What on earth do you think you're doing?
Sorry. I'm sorry. I was distracted. I'm sorry.
You were distracted.
Right. I was.
Kids
It was
these
my
days
fault.
Not looking where they're going. Your accent is quite specific.
What about it?
Suppose it's meaningless.
It is.
You should be careful.
I will be next time.
And he's
My
gonna,
apologies.
He's gonna give you like an eyebrow raise
Uh-huh.
and like turn and walk away.
Fully just like lets out a breath. He's like, Fingers fucking said that nobody would ever notice.
Fingers is like he was like reasonably, he like saw this happen, but he was not in a position to really do anything about it because it was just like boom boom.
Yeah.
Like, you were like, don't don't worry about it, I got it, and then just keep walking. And so he wasn't really in a position to help because it was just like, whoo,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
he was just like, okay, well, I'll keep walking. He's gonna keep walking in the direction of Lucien because he's a little worried.
Yeah.
And also, like, nobody knows that he's suspect like he is. Okay, cool. So you can now are free to presumably go do whatever it is that you want to do.
Okay. I think that he tries to go catch up with them to be like, okay, I mean...
Who is them?
Fingers and Lucien.
Okay. So Lucien is right now posted up in sort of so there's a balcony area, and the balcony is over top of the kind of seating around area. So when you look over the balcony, all you see is the dance floor and the main stage. You also see, just for your knowledge, the throne where King Enzo Uwethwei is seated.
Okay.
And yes.
Yezi, I did say as Yezi, she was going to be up on a balcony.
Yeah, she's on the balcony.
Okay.
But you cannot see where the tables and the sitting area is because that's underneath where the balcony is, because presumably it's not interesting to to see. That's where you are. And Lucien has sort of posted himself up in a corner, not corner, but like in a unsuspecting kind of off to the side area. And is just kind of being like, okay, I'm alone. Where's everybody? Yeah. Everything's cool now. And so you and Fingers are kind of just like going off in generally that direction. Yeah. Thalen is going to like, now that he is apart from Galen and that was presumably taken care of, he is going to kind of like circle back around. Yeah. To where you are. So the first people we get there are you and Fingers, like to where Lucien is. So you arrive in kind of like the same general area. Is there anything that you want to say?
What is it that Fingers, you're going to go find the...
Don't stop.
Right.
Yep.
I'm
gonna... Listen,
confused.
If you need me, if you guys need me, if you need me, what are you, garden? You're gonna garden. You're going to the garden. Alistair... Yeah, I think that was a plan. All right. You do that. I'm gonna go get a drink.
Right.
A little drink. At the bar.
I'm going to keep an eye out for Galen. I don't think that I can really do much more without causing a scene and getting thrown out to distract him. So, Galen, you really gotta be on the lookout.
You said it just as Thalen is like walking into the group and he's just like, thanks for that. I didn't see him standing there.
You need to keep your eyes open because I can't do anything. We fully face-to-face conversation. If I do anything else, I'm just going to get thrown out.
Oh, did you? Oh, well, how wonderful.
Yes.
Wait a minute, face-to-face conversation. Did you reign in the Spain or?
Well, he did mention my ex.
Archibald. No, he didn't. Ooh, okay. Well,
would he know anything about?
Listen, look at me. Did I know what your accent meant? Do you not think that my father would know what your accent meant?
I like to think positively.
Okay, well, unfortunately, the world is over, life is over.
What is he going to do?
Deep breaths. Thalen, whatever my name is, everything's going to be fine. Listen, we have to just go. Listen, there are a couple of people here who know who the person we're looking for is.
Right.
So, me and you, if you want to come, or maybe not. I don't know.
We're looking for the spring Eldrin, right?
Look at me. Look at me.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ask the people who I know who might have come in contact with her. For example, Lady Gwynth.
Right.
The one on the ledger.
Right.
And if you could just sort of be nearby and if someone appears like they're going to approach, well, listen, it's fine if he sees it's not fine. It would not be great if he sees that I'm here. Not because of anything really that has to do with anything, but just in general.
Right.
But if he does, you know, you really can't do anything about it at this point.
Yeah.
That's true.
I'll give you an alarm, I guess. If I laugh really loud, walk away immediately.
Okay.
I'll look insane, but who cares? Maybe
Okay.
I'll just pretend I'm drunk, I guess.
I think that could be fine. I mean, I might just. I mean, don't you have to ask him too? Ask who to? Your father, Galen?
Why would he know anything about where she went?
I don't know. I mean, you know, he saw her. That's what I'm saying. Maybe he knows. Maybe he saw her here.
That's true. Look, Thalen, you might just have to swallow getting in trouble. Just spin it like you're so excited to see her, and you knew that she was going to be here, or that possibly she was going to be here. Maybe you could be like, remember when you were young?
Okay, fine, but
Great.
you can't come now because you've screwed yourself. So I'm going to go find out, and if I'm dead,
That's fine.
if I get killed,
Look. I
That's
don't mean fine if you die.
man.
I think. Look, I will walk around and keep an eye out for a spring eldrin. I don't see very many of those around, so the likelihood that if I see one, it's her must be high, right?
I mean, yes, that would make sense. I just.
All right.
Mm,
More eyes kind of just going through the party then.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna keep an eye out for two from my, you know, vantage point in the corner facing
Yeah.
the wall. Look, I'm probably not gonna be around that much to be helpful, so, there's that. And Alistair is gonna go sit in the garden and wait for one of us to bring her to one of you guys.
I mean, Alistair, do you want somebody out there protecting you, keeping an eye out, making sure?
I mean, what's bloody fingers doing anyway? Daniel. What's he doing?
It's going to go
Yeah, it was what I'm saying.
distract
He's the
the
one,
assassin.
Listen, I'm disguised, right? I don't,
Right.
no one's gonna bloody mess with me. And nobody's gonna talk to me. I'm gonna sit in the corner and look broody and, whatever.
Alright.
You don't think that that'll stand out? Okay, forget it. I'm just gonna go. And Fingers turns around and just walks off. He's like
alright.
shaking his hands out like he's like getting ready for a prize fight or something. He's like, oh, okay. So Thalen kind of looks over at you and is just like, well, I can't protect you, so goodbye. He's just gonna go off to he's gonna start with Lady Gwynth
Yeah.
just to get his feet wet, as it were.
Lucien, just give me a rundown of what she looks like, and then I can just keep an eye out for her, genuinely.
Lucien is gonna like bring you in close just to be like, we get to have this conversation quietly.
Yeah.
And you can kind of feel as he does that. Well, actually, let me roll to see. You can kind of feel that he doesn't really want to talk about her.
Okay.
And doesn't really want to talk about her as though she, like, think about what she looks like, or think about
Yeah.
her being fine and alive. Like, the idea that she's an idea
Yeah.
is fine and cool, but the idea that, like, she looks like something, or that
Yeah.
she, it's like you asked him what her favorite food is, and he's like, this spaghetti, like, he's
Yeah.
just like, I don't want to pretend that she's real. I
Yeah.
want to pretend that she's
It's
like
easier
an
if
object.
she is a concept.
Yeah, and not like a thing. And so he's gonna like bring you in close, and he's gonna just like kind of say, into your head, like into your face, she looks like a spring eldrin. She's the only one who's gonna be here.
You don't think that there are other spring eldrins in this town?
That's not the point. Look, when you see it.
What does that mean?
Just let me know if you find her. And he's gonna like stand up, like hands on his knees,
Yeah.
kind of, sort of, and just like go off in, just start like walking in. He's just walking.
Yeah.
He doesn't know where the garden is. He's gonna go find it, presumably.
Okay. I think Ethiod just looks off at him and is like, God, everybody here is not that helpful. And then he's going to go walk around generally, probably have a drink in his hand to look like he's just like,
I'm just a guy.
yeah, part of it. And not only is he going to be keeping an eye out for Tavumile, but also keeping an ear open for any, like, have y'all seen a winter elytron around here? Or, like, anything like that.
Oh, yeah. Anything that would be of note.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just generally.
Mm-hmm.
And so he goes off and does that.
Okay. So is there a character he's trying specifically to follow? Like, is there an interaction that Ethiod specifically wants to see? Like, you can scratch fingers and Yezi's because you're gonna see it anyway.
Yeah.
So really it would just be Lucien sitting in a corner, presumably, or Thalen going to do whatever, as long as you are at a dodge. Or you can go do your own thing.
I think he goes and does his own thing. Because
Okay.
like, the more spread out we are, the better chance there is to figure something out.
Okay. Before, is there anything specifically you want to do? Here are the locations that you could go. Foyer, we've been through. The dance floor. The main stage. The King Enza's throne. Off in the corner.
Yeah.
There's a garden. There's a bar, which is where Fingers is. The sitting areas, which we have discussed. And then there is a section, because this is in the mayor's actual house. There are sections of the house that are velvet roped off because
Yeah.
they're part of the house.
Yeah.
It's like the White House type thing.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
the place where you see, and then the place where the president takes a dump. You don't see that. So those are roped off, and then there's the balcony, and the stairs to the balcony are visible from the dance floor. Like,
Okay.
they're like right imminently there.
I think that he wants to kind of go near the throne
Okay.
and just be generally in that area, because he's like, I don't know, it seems like the entire Uwethwei army is after fucking Lucien.
Okay, so you're trying to get some like political
Yeah.
intel.
To be
Okay.
like, is this a bigger thing than we think it is?
Okay.
Yeah.
So as you are making your way in that direction, and you're surrounded by people dancing, people talking, eating hors d'oeuvres, beautiful everything.
Yeah.
It's like everything is very like, the floor is like a beautiful yellow marble with like veins of shiny black running through it, and the there's like bright purple and green velvet everywhere, curtains. And then, just beautiful finery. You're surrounded by all these people. Are you going through the dance floor to get to the stage, or to his throne, or are you going kind of around the outskirts?
I think around the outskirts, because I think it would be more noticeable to just walk straight through where people be dancing and he not.
Yeah, just making a freaking beeline. Okay, so are you trying to be stealthy?
I'm trying to not be noticed, but not necessarily be like, I want to be hidden.
Okay, I'm going to say that that's a performance roll.
Okay. 12.
Okay, heck yeah, the DC was 10.
This is the end of episode 9. It's going to be a 3-parter episode because we're maniacs and we recorded for like 8 hours straight. So what that means is that we're going to release 3 weeks in a row rather than every other week. So come back next week for part 2.